Monday. 4 days of football we even have tonight. Monday Night Football. What soon will be the NFC East champion Washington Commanders hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. How you doing it? Terry McLaurin is off the pup list. And let's get ready to rock and roll, Jaden Daniels. Yes, sir. Then you had football on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and as we said, Monday. Buckle up, folks. Now, I'm going to put a PSA on this show because some of you, once again, will not be able to handle the truth and all the absolute fucking glazing that's been going on getting your fucking faces pushed in on Saturday. Remember something. 60% or more of your roster played on Saturday against the Browns. There's 22 starters. You need 35 players off that shit you saw Saturday. 35 players with open spots still to be won. Open spots still to be won. You make a trade. What is this, your second trade now in 13 days? What's wrong with the roster, Timu Roseman? What's wrong with the roster? We're going to get to the trade here in a minute. We're going to get to the takeaways. That had to be the worst effort that the Eagles have had in a football game since I've been covering you now since 2001. It was horrible. Why get off the bus? There were a couple splash plays by some players, but the Browns, they did everything they wanted at will. At will. Oh, and by the way, out of the gate, I thought it'd take 4 weeks. Prediction and bold prediction number one already in the books for Big Sills. I said to you, Keely Ringo would never, ever fucking win that job at corner. Dude, that's out. He's done. He's finished. And don't tell me low-hanging fruit. He was on the team for 3 years. You traded up to get him. And all you fucks kept telling me, well, there won't be a drop-off. Well, not only is there not a drop-off, he's on fourth team now. He's terrible. He's a special teams guy, if at all. I mean, he's battling to make it on special teams right now, let alone a guy who's going to be a fucking starting corner and picking that up for Darius Slay. What an absolute joke that was, that you guys were predicting that dude was going to win the corner job. Absolutely ridiculous. All pro Ringo. Holy shit. By the way, college football this weekend, I cannot wait. Cannot wait. So we're going to get to our takeaways. By the way, I didn't see the same fucking game many of you saw. The Cleveland Browns did anything they wanted. They scored on 7 of 7 first drives in the first quarter in the first half. It wasn't like you slowed them down. The offensive line, the second team that I was told that there's quality O-linemen, I didn't see one. They got their faces kicked in. What were you watching? So let's get to the takeaways, then we'll go to the numbers. Get this, like I said, you see this guy here? Half of your roster or more played on Saturday. And there were job openings on defense still, Taylor. You're right. You couldn't stop the 19 Browns. And you're crowing over a couple splash plays that the fourth, hey, not only that, the Browns kicked your ass in the joint practices. Don't make it sound like you kicked the Browns' asses into joint practices. You got your asses kicked there too. So let's go to the takeaways. Here's the guy who has to pay for my attention. Week 2 preseason game was bad. Oh my God. Sell the team. Thanks for paying for my attention. Kyle, thank you very much. Hope you had a great weekend. That was the worst execution I've seen since my high school days. Hey, Petula, start filling out a job application at Clover Hill. So let's go here and what we saw versus the shitty 4-win Browns. Once again, 60% of your roster played on Saturday. The corner job, the linebacking job, your safety job, your rotating defensive ends is still wide open. Vic said it today. It's still wide open. The Browns scored on 7 of the first 7 offensive series, and the Eagle defense looked like trash. There were splash plays. Andrew Makuba got turned around at least 6 times in that game. Dylan Gabriel did what he wanted to that pass defense. You had Keely Ringo and Andrew Makuba out there in the secondary. You guys were telling me those are your starters. Starters got destroyed by Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel. Let that set in. I mean, the O-line got destroyed too. They were terrible. That was the worst Jeff Stoutland offensive line performance by all 5 guys since I've covered Jeff Stoutland. It was fucking terrible. Not one guy played well. You had 38 yards in the first half. Get this. Once again, over 60% of your roster played. 60%. By the way, Keely Ringo, Andrew Makuba, Jihad Campbell, Smile Munden are all fighting for starting jobs. They played. Azeez Ojulari, Joshua Uche, they're all fucking fighting for roster spots. What are you talking about? Bills got killed by the Giants and Bears. Super Bowl incoming. Okay, where were we again? Dude, that guy Tooth, who's starting against the Cowboys, he fucking sucked. Sidney Brown is terrible. Dylan Gabriel beat the shit out of him. He was okay. Not really. I'm not giving the benefit of the doubt. Reed Blankenship gets benefit of the doubt. Smile Munden wasn't bad. He was consistent. Get this. Preseason. Once again, you make roster spots and starting assignments based off of your fucking joint practices and practice. How the hell are you going to determine who your starter is? Because why? Khalid says so? You're missing the point because most of you don't know how to watch exhibition football. And most of you don't know what you're talking about. I'd say 70% of you have no idea what you're talking about. Okay? Eagles first half, 38 total yards. The thing was pathetic. I mean, you couldn't get out of your own way. Hey, don't let anybody get hurt in that first team. Season is over. Okay? I mean, Dylan Gabriel did whatever he wanted. And get this. That team won 4 games last year, and they played their 3rd team. I was told that's a great roster. Really? Where? And here, Jihad Campbell had a sack. Okay, I saw times when he got blown off the ball. I don't know what you're watching. I didn't see a great game. And Andrew Makuba, he had a fumble, like Vic said. That was more on them, and the interception was more on them. Now, look, being around the ball matters. Okay? It does. They don't need your benefit or your This guy's paying for my attention again. You're a nobody from Cali screaming and crying in his basement. Stick this off, Tampa fans. We're built different. Thanks for paying for my attention. Once again, let's make it very clear. Every time LJ posts, he will pay to get my attention. Other than that, he's here for the algorithm and paying for my attention. Okay? Paying for my attention. Because quite frankly, I don't really care. Did you hear about Josh Allen throwing 3 INTs in a joint practice with the Bears? Probably won't highlight Allen's mediocre play. You're right, because he's a reigning MVP. That guy gets the benefit of the doubt. Hey, Sills, what's this Trey Hendrickson and Jamil deal? We'll get to all of that. Let me stick to point here, and I appreciate that, Kyle. I'll get to it. Okay? At the end of the day, that was a pathetic performance. The coach said it. Okay? They weren't good coaching. They weren't good playing. They weren't good executing. And at the end, know this. That is where, Bob, I'll get back to you. Super chats go to the top. Kimberly, that game was atrocious, and you know that Trader is the contingency plan for AJ. I'm going to get to all this. Xander, I missed a super. I don't understand why we did not keep Isaiah Rodgers. He was not expensive at all, or in Burks for that matter as well. Joey, thank you. Guys, Howie didn't give a shit about 25. Every single thing that I have said so far in this offseason, except for Moro Ajomo, and I should have stuck to that. Moro Ajomo is the only guy that is separated himself from everybody else. He's the only guy. He is the only guy that has separated themselves. The 4th and 3rd team Browns kicked the shit out of everybody. Everybody on your team that's battling for a roster spot or are battling for a starting job. Vic Fangio said today, jobs are still open. You don't want to hear it? Go to WIP. This is not the show for you. This is not. I'll tell you this. Clint Hurt's not happy. He's not happy. Vic's not happy. Okay? They're not happy with the effort. They are not. You couldn't stop a 4-win Browns 4th team. Okay? You have no idea what you watched. You're fucking Glazers. You still think you're on the victory parade float. By the way, like M. Reyes would say, hey, the difference between Keely Ringo and Slay, we're still number 1. You looked fucking terrible. Boy, was that a shit effort. Still source, ChatGPT and Reddit fan forums. Yeah. Thanks for the money and my attention. Keep paying for my attention. Okay? Keep paying for my attention. The only way, my sources, really. Guys, you know that that's a lie. Some of the biggest names in the NFL come on this program. He's a fucking fool that just likes to come in here every day and spends his Canadian money. Remember, $1 in Canada is like 4 cents. Nick, vanilla defense, baby. How about those apples? Vanilla defense versus the 4th team Browns. You're right. You still got killed. And you had starters out there. Keely Ringo, Jahad Campbell, Andrew Makuba, Sidney Brown. Those guys are starters, douchebag. And they got annihilated. Annihilated. Makuba had 2 splash plays and a couple other really nice ones. The rest of it, he was below average. He got turned around in coverage 3 fucking times versus people I never heard of. What game did you watch? Sills, it's fair to say that the back end of the roster is not as talented as the last 2 years. Amen. We are definitely top heavy when it comes to talent. Unfortunately, that's the downside to success. No, Bob, I was told that the roster's deep. That's not a deep roster. The Browns took your roster and your depth and shoved it up your ass on Saturday. Did they not, Bob? Bob, did they not? Did the Browns take your depth and shove it up your ass? They sure did. Because the Browns played their backups. And people fighting for jobs. They didn't play starters. Imagine paying to troll LJ must have Down syndrome. The guy's a retard. But that's okay. A lot of people have to pay for my attention these days. I don't just hand it out. Get this. Once again, this fucking guy doesn't know how they're building the roster. He's a so-called Eagle fan. They build it through joint practices and what they do Monday through Friday practicing. This guy doesn't know what they're doing. This is a so-called Eagle fan who pretends he knows what they're doing. How else do you know who's going to make it and who's not if you're not going by fucking what and how they build their roster? Wow. RC3, you have no idea what you're talking about. I see why you're here. Okay? Potential starters and extremely young players. Stop acting like these guys need... Bro, they're fucking starters. Jihad Campbell and Keely Ringo and Sidney Brown and Makuba and Ojulari and Uche are going to be playing significant roles on your team. What are you talking about? You're fucking lying to yourselves. Holy shit, are you people fucking retarded? What in God's name are you talking about? You are fucking retarded. My God. You came away happy with that effort? Get this. Imagine paying to talk shit about LJ. Who? Him? Me? He's what? Prince, I think you're aiming that at him. Because that guy's like fucking chum on my shoe. I don't care. He'll have to pay to get my attention. I'm not sure you're talking. I don't know what that means. Guys are going to struggle. We are paying one fucking guy on defense. Listen, that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, don't have any injuries. Because you don't have backup roles. Not terrible. Not terrible. I didn't think he was terrible. I don't think he knows the playbook yet. But not fucking terrible. Again, let me think who played well. I don't know. Just helping the cause. You're working 59 jobs now. Thanks for paying for my attention. Okay? This is true. That's encouraging. Thank you, Mikey. I appreciate it. I pay to support the channel. Absolutely, Mikey. And Mikey, you don't have to. Anybody that sends supers, okay, that gives to the channel, like Mikey, Mikey doesn't have to pay for my attention. I go to Mikey all the time. There's certain dudes that are on a list that will only be in the exclusive. You have to pay for my attention. You guys pay for laughs, even though you're about as funny as a heart attack, and end up crying instead. Mikey, thank you, bro, for supporting us. We appreciate you more than you know. Who's starting week 1 opposite Mitchell? Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean, I guess. I haven't seen anybody worth the shit out there. Have you? Wait a minute. Who do you think's worth the shit out there to play corner to? Get right. Do you really believe that Vic's going to start Makuba at safety? No way. No fucking way. No way. Richard, thank you, brother. All good. Hope you had a great weekend. He is today. Get this. DeJean is not lined up outside all camp. Today he is, dickhead. This just in. They moved him out there. Why? Because you're sucking. Still's working at the taco stand now. Flip-flop. Thanks for paying for my attention. Goes a long way to support the channel. Thank you. I don't even remember what he said. Vic is considering Bennett equal to... No, he said everybody is in the room. You got 7 guys on August 18th. August 18th. Okay? August 18th. Still battling. He goes, yeah, I'd like to see some people have won the job by now. Or at least separating. Not happening. Okay? Thank you, Mad D. I thought Sil said Cooper can't play outside. I don't think he can. Or he'd be out there. I didn't say for him to play outside. I said they're playing him outside today. What are you talking about? What? The Eagles looked like trash against Minnesota in the first preseason game last year. Make no mistake about it. Bro, you got your fucking face kicked in on both sides of the ball. I'm deeply concerned, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be patient and see what happens. Bro, I'm not telling you that's not your mentality. I'm telling you, you ain't got these holes filled like you thought you were. The only guy that looks like anybody is Moro Jomo. The rest of them, Jahad Campbell still learning. Munden still learning. Trotter slow as hell. One thing evident in that game, Jeremiah Trotter. Holy shit, he's not quick or fast. They were completing passes in the zone in the first half like fucking they were throwing pitch and catch in 7-on-7. He is slow as hell. Put the game film on. I went back and watched it again. Holy shit, that guy's slow. He knows what he's doing, but he's late on the play. That guy will always be a player that's going to play catching up to somebody, and he'll always be a step behind anybody he plays. He is slow, and he's got to be perfect in his footwork to play in this league. He's a liability in pass coverage. Make no mistake about it. Seals Ringo's ass, bro. He's physically gifted, yes. But he's so dang slow, we got to hope how he makes. He's slow, though. Wait, Leon. Appreciate you being a member for 3 months. Leon, he's slow because he doesn't know what he's doing. That's why he's slow. He just doesn't know what he's doing. Okay? Here's Steve. We don't have enough good depth at safety. That's why Coop is playing safety and base. Makuba's too small in base defense. Probably correct when you say that, brother. Probably correct. Karen wants to speak to a manager. Relax. whatever that name is, I don't know. Again, folks, remember something. LJ is in the room of paying for my attention. I don't really care what his takes are. I don't care. I don't even know what he's talking about. I have fucking honestly no idea what he's talking about. I pay no mind to that. After 40 years of being on the air, I don't know. Bro, I've already wasted more time than I want. I just wasted 4 seconds of my life I wish I got back. That's it. Sills, I would honestly say that this game showed who will be cut without a doubt. Absolutely true. Abe, the depth on the team is weak. Howard Eskin was texting me. Are you looking at the depth? I'm like, absolutely. By the way, Howard Eskin at 5:30, Gary Cobb at 4:30, Xander at 3:30. Vic said he was going to try Coop outside today, but also seemed skeptical, saying last time he played was in college, D1. That's right. That's what he said. They're going to put him out there because you know why? They got nobody else. They got nobody else. That was terrible. Just a fucking terrible effort. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'll tell you this. I thought Anais Smith looked good. He did. Now let me get to the trade. So those are my takeaways. So let me get to the trade. Oh, and I want to make this point very clear. Last year, you had a total of 35 passes completed for 281 yards. I didn't know the third wide receiver hole was a priority on this team. I had no idea that the third wide receiver was that much of a priority and not corner. This may be a wild take, but what if we sign Michi in order to put him at the 3 and Dotson at the 2 and look to trade Brown for a top corner? Well, let's get there. So the Eagles, within a matter of 13 days, have made their second trade. Okay? They send Harrison Bryant to the Texans for John Michi, former Bama dude. Both guys, bubble guys. And the Eagles get, from what I understand, the Eagles had to send a 2006 fifth rounder, and the Texans sent a 2026 sixth rounder. Okay? Okay. So let me ask you this. There's only two ways of looking at this. Either you're trading A.J. Brown. Okay? Or, hey, and by the way, all I heard was fucking glazing all camp by reporters, Jalen Hurts, and everybody talking about the chemistry of Jahan Dotson. All camp, I heard that. I didn't know it was a priority to 3 wide receiver. 10 and 30 in your NFL career. What do you know about Super Bowls? I didn't know that was a priority. 35 catches, 281 yards. Either you're trading Brown or he's hurt. Tell me what it is. Strengthen the 3 spot when you don't use it? What is it? I told all you guys that Ringo was trash. Everyone in this chat came at me. Sills was the only one who had my back. Even Norway was mad at me. They sure were. Hey, pick one. Either depth. Depth means he's hurt. Dotson is bad. Every fucking camp. I heard Jalen going, yeah, our chemistry's doing really well. My God, the rapport that I have with Jahan Dotson is fantastic. Okay? I thought Dotson was having a good camp. Or what? Is Nicky lying? Which is not becoming to him, or it's not something that would not hold him back because he's full of shit half the time. Get this. Look at this. See this guy? He watched a different game. He'll tell you those guys were awesome and that over half the roster's good. What a douchebag. Again, I realize right now, 75% of you in here have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to football. Zero. You don't even really know how to watch a fucking preseason game. Did you ever hear me mention the score? No, because it doesn't really matter. I'm looking at effort. I'm looking at rosters. You won the Super Bowl a year ago. Why? Because your roster was deep. You had a deep roster. Basement GM, how many winning rosters you assemble? I told you a year ago that Oren Burks, Fred, all those guys are starters somewhere else. All starters somewhere else. Those were guys who were essential in you winning the Super Bowl. Some of you are in for a hard landing this year, fuckers, and it's going to be a crash landing. There's nobody that could tell me anybody played great, especially people fighting for jobs. I'll say it to you. Campbell's coming along, but he's playing with a shitty group of guys. Makuba had even Vic downplayed the plays. Because you know why? When you put the rest of the tape on, Dylan Gabriel turned him around 5 times in the game. Dylan Gabriel. Not Dak, not Mahomes, not Stafford, and not Mayfield. Dylan Gabriel, who might not make the team. The kid Bennett's not terrible. They need to get him in there against the Jets this weekend. Did you hear Vic? Some of these jobs are going to go into the final exhibition game. You still got jobs to be won. Holy shit. Holy cow. I was watching the internet and I was watching social media. Holy shit. Oh, Campbell, Makuba's are, even Vic wouldn't fucking give him the kudos about starting over Sydney. And Sidney Brown can't tackle. Sidney Brown can't tackle. He can't tackle. He cannot tackle. Sidney Brown can't tackle. He's the worst tackling secondary person you have on your football team. I mean, at least guys a year ago can make plays. He's not very good. He's good at everything else but getting guys on the ground. Sidney Brown can't tackle. He can't. The kid Bennett is not terrible. He's not terrible. I saw some things out there. He looked consistent. Munden looked consistent. Like I said, you got your fucking asses kicked in the joint practice too. What's your excuses for that? Not showing up against a 4-win Browns team? Holy shit. Remember I told you guys, they don't give a shit about 25. They gave a shit about 26. They're going to roll with 25. We're spoiled. Yes, and the bar was set so high. But seriously, they should have done better with replacements this year to take advantage of another Super Bowl run. Bro, your offense is going to have to be spectacular. If Sills had applied this study to his own career, my guy, I would have been in the Hall of Fame. I've told you that, Prince. Thanks for repeating what I fucking said here for 4 years. Really? Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. He's just repeating what I said about my career. What the fuck is that take? Really? I must have said that 60 times here. What was the point? 0-6 in pro wrestling. What do you know about winning? Seriously, Prince? I mean, that's what I said here. Good grief. So this thing with Brown. Brown is more seriously injured than expected. I mean, Brown's more seriously, he is. Okay? Okay? That's so a duel. Bro, people with nothing else to say when they hear the truth do this. Okay? It's okay. I got 35 years in broadcasting. We know what we're doing and we appreciate that. Hey, dude, thank you, though. But duel, don't worry about it. I don't care. I used to care. But I appreciate you, brother. And again, thank you for being part of the program. Okay? Me too. And Gabe, am I right when I say this? That both guards, those are the guys that are going to be starting. One guy played. And one guy gave up did you see that quarterback get fucking annihilated? Well, the guy who's going to play for Landon Dickerson gave up that hit on the quarterback. He almost got him decapitated. That's the guy who's going to protect Jalen Hurts? Really? That guy, Tooth or whatever, he gave up that hit on Robinson who almost got decapitated. That's the guy who's going to block? Holy shit. I mean, get this. The center looks great. You had 38 fucking yards in total offense. Where did they look great? How in the world do you come away with that? The center looked great with 38 yards in the first half and 14 yards rushing. What are you talking about? Oh, my God. They look great. Yeah, they did. I heard something. The former GM of the Titans saying Brown would be lucky if he knees hold up. Yeah, well, that's wishful thinking, Kyle. That's the Browns. Or excuse me, the Browns GM saying that. Okay. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it very much. We always accept everything, and we appreciate contributions here always, man. Okay, thank you. Jake Tapper, please air this on CNN in 6 months. Absolutely, Real Zeal. How you doing? Already one prediction in the books. Win. Big Sills. Replacing the guys that you lost. I'll give it to Moro Jomo. Moro Jomo has separated himself. The question is going to be how many plays he's going to play this year at a high level. That's his next step. But he's by far won that job, and it is not close. Ty Robinson's got a lot of work to do. Okay? I mean, they got a lot of work to do with him still. All right? Right? Let's see here. Yeah, that no one blew their knee out. Sure. Okay, so tell me something. Why'd the Eagles make a trade for a wideout? Why did they make a trade for a wideout? Anybody? Why'd they make a trade for a wideout? You're going to answer this question. Why did the Philadelphia Eagles make a trade for a wideout? Wait a minute. I saw somebody in here go, why not? You were just ranked the second best wide receiving core in football. PFF has you the second best wide receiving core in football. Okay? Why? Because the fat guy from his Cali basement said to. Why did they? Tell me. AJ's hamstring. So he's hurt. And he's been hurt the entire camp. Is that right? Dude, John Mechie was a bubble guy with the Texans. He wasn't going to make the team. Now, he's gone through shit. He was a great player in college. Okay? He was. And he's gone through adversity. Take it from me, I get it. Okay? I get it. Keep in mind that they aren't aiming for this year, Sills. Drew, I know you guys think that I throw topics out at you just to fill segments sometimes. But when I asked you, Xander, anybody who would listen, do you think the Philadelphia Eagles put more of an emphasis on 26 and 27? You guys said no. Now you're saying, Drew, that they're aiming and they're not aiming for 25. Okay? All right. We can move the chains for you guys. They're going to move off of AJ eventually. I think the trade is to build the wide receiver room and prepare for an AJ trade. Ain't going to be this year, but okay. Get this. What? I never said that Keely Ringo wouldn't win that job. That was one of my bold predictions with Xander. That guy wouldn't win that job. I thought it'd take at least 4 weeks. I didn't really think it would take 4 weeks of preseason for him to lose his job. Okay? I didn't think that. Sills has been preaching this for months. I sure have. You ain't replacing all these guys. You're not. You are not replacing these guys. You got a long way. The Campbell kid could be good by the middle of the year. Ajomo's going to be, again, I want to see him get in with like multiple reps where he's got to play multiple games in a row. Okay? And, like, by the way, who's your swing corner? Who you guys think is going to be the swing corner? Who's that going to be? Fuck, you don't even have one corner at one place. Now we know why. Remember I asked you 3 weeks ago, are they traveling Quinyon Mitchell because they don't have another corner? Or are they doing it to give him more responsibility? We now know why. Because they got problems over there. Look at this. Keely starts, and Bennett's the swing. Well, you're in trouble then. You're in trouble. So let me get this right. Am I right when I say this? In a Super Bowl a couple years ago, when Greenlaw got hurt and they put Oren Burks in, what did Mahomes do? Did he not find Oren Burks? And that's how they climbed back into that Super Bowl against the 49ers? You're right. Patrick Mahomes probably won't find Ringo and Mick Williams or whomever's in the slot, right? Sure, not him. Stop saying that. Which team enters the season without aiming to win it all? That's absurd. You play to win the game. That shit is dumb as hell. I don't know what you're talking about, but thanks for the super. They're going to have to play prevent defense on third down. Remember those days? Dude, they're 10, 15 yards off the ball now. Sills, that's who I said was one of the Niners lost, and you dismissed it. Greenlaw can play. He is. I think he's going to be a factor in Denver. Okay? I do. Okay? Absolutely. Mahomes is dog food for Eagles. Really? You were dog shit for Dylan Gabriel. And you got guys out there that are fighting for starting jobs. Dylan Gabriel with a third-team line beat your ass up. You have the reading comprehension of a walnut. Jay, appreciate you coming aboard. Thank you for the super, dog. Does Michi get extra year because he was on the NFL's list because of leukemia, which makes him a restricted free agent and gives the Eagles the right to match any offer contingency plan? Hey, dude, sometimes it's just not in the cards. It's just not in the cards. I don't know how that's going to work for him. I really don't. But I didn't know there was a problem at wide receiver 3. So let's get back to AJ. AJ hurt the entire camp? How? When? Is he going to be there for the opener? So let me get this right. A brand new offensive coordinator, a passing offense that was 30th a year ago, 4th worst in the league. And you guys are trying to tell me that's where you're going to get an MVP effort from Jalen Hurts, and week 1, AJ's just going to walk onto the field, and they're going to turn that offense on, where a year ago it never was turned on because, as you guys say, they didn't have to because of Barkley. Are you relying on Barkley again to carry the ball over 400 times? Sure sounds it. Is A.J. Brown becoming injury prone? 2 of the last 3 years, he's been injured. Playoff game against the Bucs? Year ago, he missed 4. Now he's missed the entire camp. I don't know. Sure sounds funny to me. Am I wrong? So he missed the playoff game. He missed 4 games last year. And now he's missed all the camp. I don't know. I mean, he wasn't in the joint practices. I'm just saying. It's a question. And then you get this. So let's put this all together. This is the last 3 years. The guy missed the playoff game against the Bucs. You missed 4 games a year ago. You missed all the camp, and you make a trade for a wide receiver that you don't need. I don't know. You tell me how that sounds. Okay, AJ's fine. Then why make a trade for a position you don't need? Fuck, you need corner, dude. You need safety. You might need some help in the O-line. You might need some help at edge. Okay? Get this. Fake news? He missed the fucking playoff game. He missed 4 games last year. He missed all the training camp, and they made a trade for a wideout. How's that fake news? Fake news is making something up. That's not made up. How's that fake news when that's what happened? What? Facts are fake news now? I know what side of the aisle you're on. I get it. Hey, Sue, if you don't like to hear the truth, I'm sorry, kid. What? Still so hyped today? What are you fucking talking about? Again, what are you, the Riddler-S? Like a fucking riddle. Riddle me this. Still so hyped. Because it's football season. Sorry, kid. I mean, go back to playing with dolls or something. I don't know. Sills, if AJ's hurt, why would he be out there throwing the ball around today, not getting treatment? I'm serious. Okay, you tell me. You tell me. Brand new coordinator. And they got their work on the joint practices. Holy shit, you guys can't even answer the facts today because you know why? You don't want to. So you know what you do? You aim your bullshit at me. You're deflecting. Every person in here, not every, 80% of you are deflecting. You're just deflecting. It's funny to watch. Eagle fans have to be the biggest. I mean, it's like you guys are reflectors. That's not what I saw. If that's not what I saw, you're like, what did you actually see then on Saturday? With over 60% of your roster playing and jobs still open. I don't know. What could we get if we traded AJ? It'd be ones. Bill signing Cooper as per Chuck, whatever. I'm sorry. I don't know these stupid words. And again, Sue, shit game. I'm not talking about just overall the shit game. Sue, I'm talking about guys fighting for roster spots. And you know what, and how pathetic it is that people will go like this and say, well, those were backup guys. 31 NFL football teams watch those games. And you may not make them. Okay? You may not make a roster in Philly. You're trying to make a roster somewhere else in the league. So it may not matter to you, but it matters to everybody. Okay? It's the same situation with Jefferson in Minnesota. They shut him down for the entire offseason. I don't understand the trade, though. However, Howie was trying to trade for him during the draft. So wait a minute here. Again, is that a position, Prince, that you're in dire need? You don't throw to wide receiver 3. You had 35 completions a year ago. I could see if there was an injury. There must be an injury. It's either they're trading AJ or there's an injury. Pick one. It's surely this. You didn't trade for a position of need. The trade doesn't even make sense. I mean, edge, I would have got. O-line, I would have got. Linebacker, I may have got. Safety, corner, I would have got. Wide receiver? I mean, explain it. Explain it. Look, like I said, help me explain how he's moved here. Explain this. Either you're trading AJ or you're preparing to, or he's injured. Dude, if Devontae Smith was injured, I can't either. And get this, it's in 13 days, that's your second move. Okay? So AJ's injured. Now we got to ask the question, how serious? Serious enough to make a move? Tell me. You're right, Sills. It's a reason how we made the move. We don't know what it is yet. Okay. You're right. We don't. But when I hear Vic Fangio today talking about job openings, that we still, and it's going to go into the Jets game. Isn't that concerning? That the guys on the roster you have right now aren't winning the job. Hey, M. Reyes, say I'm right about Ringo. Say I'm right about Ringo, and I've been right for 6 months. Say it. Say it. Watch this, guys. Say it. Say I've been right about Ringo for 6 months. Let me hear you say it. Okay. Say I'm right about Sidney Brown. And Reyes, say I'm right about Sidney Brown. Say I'm right about Sidney Brown. And Reyes, say I'm right about Sidney Brown. Say it. Can you? Say I'm right about Sidney Brown. I'm not worried about Brown. Blankenship and Makuba already locked down. Sidney Brown is a fucking horrible tackler. He won't say it. Brown's not very good. He's not good. He's a talented kid. Oh, by the way, here's the third one we'll be dead on about. Where's Blankenship's fucking deal? This is the last week of camp. You guys going to move the sticks on me? Where's Blankenship's contract? I told you it's going to be March. Oh, don't worry about the deal. Let him show up. Okay. So we're moving the sticks again. He'll get it by June. Okay. June came and went. He'll get it at the beginning of camp. Came and went. I told you he's getting it in March because they're not sold on him. Oh, wait, that's right. It got moved to the starting week of the NFL. Is that right? Okay. Wait a minute. I thought John said he was a $15 million guy. You're either a $15 million in the room, top 10, top 15 safety. Now he's got to prove it? Holy shit. Which is it? He's got to prove it? Or he's a $15 million Derwin James? Hook me up here, guy. I'm getting confused. So you're either a Derwin James or you're nobody. Just curious here. By the numbers. Hit that like button, guys. We appreciate it. The only show that tells... Now, look. Let me give you the good, bad, and the ugly. Let's go with the good. It doesn't count. And it's true. Your big dogs weren't out there. Will that help the younger players when you get into a room when you're playing with better players next to you? Of course it will. because it'll hide some of the deficiencies that you have. Who was I okay with? Campbell, because he's learning. He gets a hall pass. He shows technique and tendencies to be a really good player. By the way, Nolan Smith is hurt again? Is that what I heard Vic say about his shoulder? That guy will not make the season. Here's a prediction for you. You want another bold prediction? Nolan Smith won't make the season. He's banged up already because his shoulder's injured? I heard Vic say that today. And that's why Jalix Hunt was over there? Jalix Hunt's going to get the majority of the reps on that side. And you know what's going to happen? Aziz and Uche are going to split the other reps on the other side. Nolan Smith's shoulder's injury already? Fuck, we haven't even got into the Dallas week yet. Right. And his shoulder, Vic said it. His shoulder was bugging him again, so we put Jalix Hunt over there. Dude, this guy's having problems getting through camp. Bro, I still think if the offense plays well, you're between 12 and 15, and you have a top 5 defense, a top 5 offense, you're still in the game. I mean, you're still in the game. Your offense is superior to you have, in my opinion, the best talent of any football team in the NFL on offense. I don't think there's anybody close to you. Best O-line, wide receiving core, the tight end, the back, the quarterback, all of it together. No offense is in the conversation with you. None. When it comes to talent on paper, nobody. And you underachieved and you dominated a year ago. Imagine that. If you get that passing game up a little bit. How are you going to get that passing game up and working on your passing game when your star receiver's not even in camp practicing with you? What are you practicing? Okay? I mean, right? Tight end is not dude. The Eagle tight, are you trying to tell me you think Ferguson's a better tight end than Goddard? That ain't true. Okay? That is not true. Sills, your takes have gotten even worse than last year. Holy shit, dude. How can my takes have gotten worse when everything I've predicted looks like it's happening? What are you talking about? My takes? What, that Ringo blows and would never replace Slay? And you got holes everywhere on defense? And you let Dylan Gabriel with a 4th-team offense and offensive line kick the shit out of people who are fighting for jobs? You mean that take? What take was that? Dylan Gabriel, who played college football for 14 years, took you apart with guys like Ringo, Brown, Makuba, all dudes fighting for starting jobs. Let's take a look at that. How many people are playing? Let's take a look at this for a second. Let's go here. Let me take a look at how many guys who are going to be fighting for jobs played in this game. I think that's great. So let's go down here. Okay? Let's go down here and see how many guys are fighting for jobs that played on Saturday. Let's take a look at this. Trotter. Slow as hell. London. Pretty good. It's okay. I liked what he did. Had a TFL too. He's coming along. Tristan McCullum, the guy struggled. Jahad Campbell had a sack, showed up with a flash play, still some critical steps. Guy gets a pass. He's a rookie. Torrey Jackson, man. Yeah, okay. Yeah. He'll be okay. Really? Torrey Jackson. Wow, is that guy not good? Aziz, not terrible. Bennett, not horrible. He just doesn't know the playbook. Uche, tell you what, man, he needs more bricks in his pants. I didn't have a problem with Patrick Johnson, actually. I'll tell you what, when you give Patrick Johnson some reps, the guy plays. He's not like a frontline guy or he's a back end roster guy, but he's not terrible. He's not. He's not terrible. Sidney Brown can't tackle to save his life. Keely Ringo, I mean, dude, he's just not very good. Eli Ricks, yeah, okay. Makuba with a flash play, couple turnarounds, but again, he'll come. He gets a pass too. He's a rookie. I think Mac McWilliams, there's something there to the kid. I don't know why I like him. I think there's something that is redeeming about the guy. I don't know why. Okay, I like him. I think he's been held back because of injuries, but I think they can do something with him. Hit the like button, guys. We have holes on defense and how he gets a wide receiver. What the fuck? It's not over, dude. No. That's not what this exercise is about today. This exercise is about guys fighting for jobs, and there are more questions. You're so amped. Why do you guys do this? That aggravates me beyond anything else. You see Campbell with a sack, and you see Makuba with a pick six and a fumble recovery, and you assume they played well. That's not consistent. Now, I will say, people being around the ball and being guys who are around turnovers, there is something there for me to always go, some players are always in that position. Like Gardner Johnson is not a very good technician. He jumps the scheme. He could easily have 7 minus plays, but he'll have 3 flash plays that will cover that. Don't blame Vic. It's the players in the system. It's not Vic's system. That's the same shit he did a year ago. It's the players in the system. Like, even Vic today at the press conference tried to downplay those plays. You guys get all fuzzy and all the energy inside, and I did the same thing that the coordinator did today. That's great. Does that help in the evaluation? Let me ask you this. If a guy gets beat 5 times by a nobody wide receiver and he has a pick 6, did he play well? That's what you're inferring. How about the missteps that Campbell had all game, especially in the first quarter and in the first half? They had 200 yards in the first half against players that are fighting. Here, look at this. This is your roster, dude. This ain't me. I didn't say this shit. You guys are. Here's people that are fighting for a roster spot. Let me show you something. Here's a guy here's men that are fighting for roster spots, and here's the people that are fighting for starting jobs. Trotter, fighting for a starting job. He played. Munden, fighting for significant role time. McCullum, fighting for a starting job. Campbell, starting and fighting for a starting job. Dory Jackson, fighting for a starting job. Azeez Ojulari, fighting for a starting job. Jacorian Bennett, fighting for a starting job. Sidney Brown, fighting for a starting job. Keely Ringo, fighting for a starting job. Look at all these people that are fighting for starting jobs to make the roster. And you're telling me nobody played. Andrew Makuba, fighting for a starting job. What the fuck are you talking about? I just named you 12 guys that are fighting for a starting gig on defense, let alone the role players. You're making it sound like nobody played. You guys are making it sound like nobody played. That is fighting for an absolute roster spot. Azeez is a backup fighting for significant playing time. Is he not? Or no? Is Azeez and is Uche fighting for significant playing time? Yes or no? And to make the roster? Not really? Well, then wait a minute. Who's your depth then, Philly? Get this. Not really, he says. Let me show you how unintelligent this fucking guy, Philly 4x4, is. So if Uche and Ojulari are not fighting for starting gigs, outside of Jalix Hunt and Nolan Smith, who are your edge rushers that are going to come in and have a rotation? At least give me another one. No. The Cleveland Browns, the 4-team Cleveland Browns are the ones that beat the fuck out of you all week. Dan Sileo fighting for equal pay for walnuts. They're not starting for a starting job. Really? So they're not. Again, here's a guy that's his days are done. Right now, you have Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt. Let's just put that there. Who's your other edge rusher? Name me one. Name me one. Sills, this defense will start slow like last year, but I expect them to be better come midseason. Run the ball and keep the defense on the sidelines. Tremendous take, and yes, and true. Nobody on that list has impressed for all the Howie miracles he missed when it comes to the defense. All those guys are starting. How about this? Let's do it again, Josh. Okay? These are the Browns. They won 4 games. Trotter, playing time. Munden, playing time. McCollum, playing time. Nickerson, playing time. Campbell, playing time. Jackson, playing time. Ojulari, playing time. Bennett, playing time. Uche, playing time. Brown, playing time. Ringo, playing time. Ricks, playing time. Hall, playing time. Robinson, playing time. Makuba, playing time. Those are all people that are fighting for significant playing time and roster spots. And you guys are going to try to sit here and tell me nobody played. Got your head in the sand. You got your head in the sand. What? Bro. What? Oh, so according to Weapon, the Eagles didn't show up in the joint practices or the exhibition game because they didn't feel like it. And the Browns play them hard, so we just didn't fucking show up. Sounds like a wonderful attitude. I thought you had a culture of going on and giving max effort. Coach said coaching sucked, playing sucked. We didn't do anything well out here. That's coach's words. He said we didn't do anything well out here. Nothing. We didn't coach well. We didn't play well. We didn't do anything. But you guys are like excuse machines. No, Nick was honest about that. Okay? Get this. Seals, you're too concerned with individual pieces of talent instead of understanding how Vic can orchestrate the scheme with what he's given. And then the coordinator comes out today and says nobody's won jobs at these respective positions. Safety corner, rotating linebacker. Even Nick wouldn't name guys. What? That's a terrible take. Seals, no, the Browns just know how to beat us. We got to be better. Dude, that's not beating you in preseason. That's beating you up. You're blind. Get this. I'm not debating this. If you saw a different game and you had higher expectations and more, what you saw, so be it. I see the game through a different lens than you, and I always will. That's not what I saw. I truthfully think Vic put them in tough spots against the fourth-team Browns. So wait a minute. I truthfully think Vic put them in tough spots, folks, against the third and fourth team Browns. Dylan Gabriel is like the third or fourth quarterback. It's going to be Flacco, Pickett, and probably Shedeur Sanders. He's the fourth best guy on the roster. Is that what you're saying? That Dylan Gabriel put potential starters in a bad place and Vic helped? Folks, you never heard me mention the score, and I won't. I'm talking about effort, individual play. Dude, get this. This is why M. Reyes' take is shitty. The only thing you can do is do individual play. Why do you think why do you think Nick was rotating the quarterbacks every other series? You know why? He wanted them to be able to see them play with the second better group of offensive linemen so that they can get a better look at the quarterbacks with different personnel and better personnel because they didn't want to have one assessment jaded. That's why he rotated the quarterbacks. Because the only thing you can do in preseason is individual play assessment. You can't do unit assessment. How in the world are you going to do unit assessment when half the guys that played this past weekend won't be on the team? How can you do that? You have no idea what you're watching. You have no idea what you're looking at and how exhibition football works on players trying to make a roster spot. You can't build unit integrity with guys that are on the second, third, and fourth teams. How? Vic's overall scheme was not tested this past weekend. The players in it were. Because of the multiple different combinations. I can't believe I've got to put this out. Well, I should. You know what? I don't mean to talk down to some of you because I don't expect you to know that. I don't expect you to know that. How would you? Vic's scheme was never in question over the weekend. You never heard me say Vic's system sucked. Because you have individual, that's why Reyes' take so fucking stupid. How Vic's going to build chemistry with what? Second, third, and fourth team guys that will never play with each other? Like ever? The only time those guys are going to get into a system is when they get all the starters out there or in these joint practices. We didn't play well in the preseason game, just like half the league. Move on? I'll move on when I fucking want to move on. This is a trial. The main guys are eating popcorn and Crunchables playing cheerleader. Okay? Crucibles. Hey, listen, whatever. Right. You're missing it, though, Pickin'. 60% of your football team played this past weekend with guys fighting for roster spots and starting assignments. You fucking don't get it. Here's another guy that doesn't get exhibition football and how to look at it. You're just being blinded. You know how you're blinded? Because you're still on the parade float. You're still on broad waving the pom-poms. Yes. 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 Knack for being around the ball, similar to Makuba. There is a talent to that, Prince. Absolutely. Sidney and Ringo lack that same instinct. But they still... Dude, how in the world do you think that Sidney Brown and Ringo played well against Dylan Gabe? They did anything they felt like it. Where did you see that in the first half? That those guys played well? Where? Campbell and Makuba get hall passes. They're still learning. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Well, yeah. Listen, I'm not down on them guys. Okay? I'm not down on them. Get this, preseason is for backups, not for you. You had guys battling for starting jobs. Dude, is Keely Ringo and Sidney Brown and Andrew Makuba, Tristan McCollum, are those guys fighting for starting jobs, yes or no, guys? Hey, maybe I misheard this, and I've been watching a different preseason. You tell me. Are those guys starting for... Are those guys playing for starting jobs, yes or no? They played a quarter, and in every series, they scored on them. I get it. Yes. 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 Yes, special teams. Wait a minute. Andrew Makuba's not fighting for a starting job, nor is Keely Ringo, nor is Sidney Brown. They're not playing for starting jobs, right? Well, get this, Prince. I must not be hearing Vic right then. Vic must be lying. Let me show you this, how fucking ridiculous and retarded this guy is. We're looking for one guy to start in its corner. Really, that's not what Vic said today. Vic said that Sidney and Makuba and everyone are in the same group when it comes to the safety position. You're so full of shit, guy. Bro, again, I got to tell you, your days are numbered with your awful takes. I like people in here that watch a game. Okay? I mean, really. 6 starters on defense. Everybody's fighting for playing time or roster spots. No pass rush, plus shaky back end. It's not all good on that side of the ball. Now, look here. Carter's going to make a massive difference. Bond is going to make a massive difference. Remember what I told you about? It wasn't so much that Milton Williams was a great football player. Milton Williams was a great versatile player, as was Sweat. You're trying to replace these guys with dog shit and with lesser players. Yeah, like when? Absolutely. Here, Cooper and Quinn play 2 positions. There's 5 in a secondary position, correct? In nickel. Nickel, 2 safeties, and 2 corners. You got 2 dudes to cover 5 positions. Really? Never happened. I don't care how good your corner is. 2 dudes and 5. I guarantee you, Reed Blankenship's season will look like a little better than 23 because of the guy playing next to him. Reed. Who? This guy's a good player. 3. You're right. 3 of the 5. I don't think Reed's that great a player. I think he's a good player. I think he's a solid football player. I do. I think he's a good, solid football player. Sales, Vic thinks all these guys are mid. These fanboys seem to think Ja'Cory and Ben and Andrew Macumba are difference makers. I don't know about Macumba yet, but I don't think he is either. I think he's a shwimp. I do. I will see. I love you, Pump. Thanks, bro. You think it's possible we give up 1,200 passing yards in the first 4 games? It's Dak, Mahomes, Stafford, and Mayfield. Yeah, I do. Yeah, totally, I do. Now, let me take that back for a second, Josh. If they're running the ball at 38 carries and those teams can't stop the run, no. Let me tell you this. With what I'm seeing right now on defense and the players that you have, if that Philadelphia Eagle team starts throwing the ball around and starts having 3 and outs because AJ's not been at practice and those guys have worked on no chemistry whatsoever, and you're the 4th worst passing attack, and once again, you guys think you're going to take the Ferrari out of the fucking barn and you're going to go 17 weeks, you're high. Now, if they run the ball, those teams are in trouble because I don't think those teams can stop the run. I think the only team, there's 2 teams in those first 4 weeks. I'll tell you what, the first 5 weeks, I'm going to add Denver to that because I think Denver has got a great unit and I think they got a lot of talent on that side of the ball. I do. Get Gilmore in here. He's more than serviceable. Stephon Gilmore, I think, still has something in the tank. No way the corner room is even. No one wants to win it. Ringo is blowing his chance. Sills, what would you consider the worst season for the Eagles since you stated or started covering the team? I'm not going to go to the 21 season because I think they were learning how to win with the new coaching staff. I think it was that 23 season was their worst season because they played like a 4-win football team in the last 12 games of the year. Last 12 games of the year, they look like a 4-win football team. They finished like a 4-win football team, getting blown out by the Bucs in the playoffs. But people will dissect it to make themselves feel good with reach-arounds and such. Hurts was an MVP candidate when they were 10-1. Well, guess what? Too bad you don't play 11 games like you do in college, or 13 or 14, whatever you play. Too bad. You play 17 games, and most you play 20. That's called NFL football. Okay? Sills, what's the first thing you would do if you were Howie after the game? I'd have the hard conversations on where we are at corner, at safety, at edge rusher with depth. I'll tell you what, I'd have a conversation with Jeff Stoutland about that old line. They got stoned by the second, third, and fourth team line of the Browns. And many of those players are going to be rotating pieces. And you're looking for the Fred Johnsons of the world. And they got fucking run over. That offense had 38 yards in the first half. What the fuck were you watching? What were you watching? Little Red Card, Dan Sileo, didn't you say we would have the worst linebacking core in 24? Dude. No, you're right. You're right. You saw something different. Ringo's great. He'll be an all-pro. Ringo just can't pick up this complex defense. You know, Kimberly, I don't like to go there with the fact that I think the guy's not picked up the playbook. But it's either this, he's not getting it, or it is that. Guys, supers go to the top. Please hit that like button. Okay? Howie also hired the coordinators in 22 and 24 and went to the bowl both times. Congratulations. What an epiphany. Broke Sills of what? The truth? Thanks. Appreciate it. So far out of the gate, we're smoking. Sills, I just don't trust these fragile players. That's tried to tackle a dude and almost exploded. Reminds me of Maddox. Dude, I'm just telling you, there's a lot of people back there that have issues in getting people on the ground. I happen to think Keely Ringo's a really good athlete. But there's a reason track stars don't play in the NFL. Okay? Track stars are good athletes too, dude. They can't play in the NFL, though. Got a lot of guys who are great athletes. There's athletes and there's football players. Once again, good, bad, and the ugly. The rookie guys, they're coming along. And they're playing with shitty dudes around them. So that's gonna affect their play. Listen, let me show you something about Jod Campbell. When you put a dude next to him that runs a 4.8 and Trotter, dude, Trotter can't run. He can't run. Now, you put Bond next to him and you put Carter and Davis next to him, does that kind of compensate a little bit for that? Yes. But you put him on an island out there with Gabe Hall and some of these other guys, he looks exactly the player he is. He looks like a UFL guy. He is not fast and quick. And he's a liability in pass coverage. Dude, Dylan Gabriel almost had his leg taken off at USF. Do you know that? He had a catastrophic knee injury and he transferred to OU and then he went to Oregon. Seriously, he almost lost his fucking leg. That guy's the fourth quarterback, and there were dudes out there on Saturday that are fighting for jobs. again, there's no debate on what you saw. Now, 22 players. Let's add it up before we get Xander on here. 22 players, right? Are you starting 22 guys? Right? Out of what you saw on Saturday, 35 players have to be picked out of that group on what you saw. 35 with players battling for starting jobs. By the way, JAKIB kicked ass over the weekend. Xander and John did a Herculean effort. We were the most watched network, I think, in Philadelphia the entire weekend. And that's because of the hard work of the guys and what they did over the weekend. The trade and all that too. I mean, all of it and how it went down. Without further ado, one of the hardest working guys that we've been around in a long time. We're so thankful. Again, I'm watching. I watched some of the stuff on what they were posting. He did a halftime show too, which was great. I check in every now and then, guys, just so you know. Without further ado, our guy, Big Z, Xander Kraus, joins us now.
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
How's it going, horse?
Not bad, man. Not bad. I mean, holy shit, you have been on a rampage for an hour and 37, Sills. Some of your best work, my friend.
What'd you see, dog? I mean, listen.
I don't disagree with you, dude. I don't disagree with you. I don't want to see in any realm. I don't want to see any shit foot. I don't want to see you not have good effort. I don't want to see you get your ass handed to you. Look, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to sell the farm maybe a little bit as much as you were ready to. But look, you don't want to do anything like that. You know, I think that's a philosophy for life. How you do anything is how you do everything. And you don't want to look like that. So I understand that part of it. Maybe I think you went a notch far in some regards, but look, that's all right. We're to each his own. Everybody's gonna have a different opinion.
Okay. I'd like to know where you thought I went too far.
Well, just in that, I think, well, I don't know if you went too far, but I think in a very Silesian way.
Okay.
I think in a very Silesian way, you make.
Okay.
I don't know if it was that you went too far. I think it was more the delivery. You know, you remember we've talked about this before. So maybe a little bit of the delivery. All
right. Okay. So let me go. Do you want to, Xander? My point is that there's probably 15 guys that played this past weekend that are looking for jobs and that are looking to make the roster. 35 men are going to make the roster off that shit that you saw. You got beat up in the joint practices. Then you got beat up on Saturday. That has to be, would you not agree? That has to be one of the worst weeks of work for the Eagles in 4 years.
It wasn't good. Definitely wasn't a good week of work. No doubt about it. The Browns beat them up in the joint practices, which I think honestly are more important. I mean,
yes.
You know, a lot of our first team offense was in there getting beat up. You know what I mean? First team defense in there getting beat up. Joe Flacco had 4 touchdown passes in the second practice. So look, not ideal. Maybe it's a good wake-up call for a team that's been getting a lot of glaze early of we do still have to, you know, do everything the right way in order to compete. But, you know, not great, not happy about it. But I also think maybe you learned a couple things. I mean, Look, I was happy about Makuba. I'll say that. I agree he wasn't amazing every single play, but when you have a knack for the football on that side of the ball, that's an easy way to get on the football field, even if you're going to give up a couple of plays. You know, even Gardner Johnson last year, he gave up the most plays of anybody in the secondary, but he also had 6 takeaways. So if Makuba's going to show a knack like that, I think that's a great thing. Cornerback too, I'm seeing really nothing. Jacorian Bennett was pretty good, and he had that one play where he
I thought he was okay. He needs more rest.
But I'm worried about him getting hurt. Do you see him make the punch out and, you know, hold his shoulder? So I don't know about that, but you know, there were some positives. I thought Campbell looked okay in the game. I thought Trotter looked okay. And to your point, you said there's certain guys on that field that were that are going to be fighting for playing time. I thought for the most part, outside of the corner spot, outside of probably Sidney Brown, they did all right. They looked all right. Those were probably the least of my worries of the guys that were on the field. After that, I was wondering this, Sills, because you talked about the depth, and you're right, man. There's only 22 starters. So, even if none of your starters play, you have 30-something guys,
Yeah.
that are playing out there. But is this one of the ramifications of success?
Totally.
Where you just don't have depth. We're top heavy.
Totally.
We're top heavy. If you lose Quinyon Mitchell, we're fucked. If we lose A.J. Brown, we're fucked. If we lose Jalen Hurts, we're fucked. If we lose Lane Johnson, we're probably fucked.
This is the price of success.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking
How
about.
this? This is the price of guys panning out.
Right. Yeah, that's true. All these draft picks.
The draft picks you have on defense and the draft picks that you have and guys that you acquired, look at what you did. You gave a raise to Saquon Barkley. Lane has been a success. Cam Jurgens has been a success. Landon has been a success. You're paying these guys for being right. Well, that's eventually going to take its toll on the back. Xander, this is why, you said all the offseason, hey, dude, you know what? You can't keep everybody. Well, here's what it is. You can't keep everybody. This is what the league wants and doesn't like.
Yeah, I'll say this too. Just from a personal perspective, as that will continue to evolve, as all of our perspectives evolve each and every day, I am starting to wonder, as a confident and optimistic fan, as opposed to you and John, who are more objective and not as infatuated with the result.
You're objective.
No, but I'm saying even my fan optimism, I'm starting to wonder if we did give up too much on defense. Like, it's hard to win in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, no matter what changes, the Eagles are going to win. If that was the case, we'd have more than 2 Super Bowls. It's a hard thing to do. It's very hard to win in this league. And you're kind of looking at that defense right now, and you're just like, all right, I do feel like there's some optimism or there's some good potential there.
Yes.
But in 2025, it's going to be really hard to replace Slay and Gardner Johnson. And honestly, I feel best about Moro Ojomo replacing Milton Williams. I know Milton was great last year. I know you, John, and I have kind of also seen that a little bit differently, but I think that's the one I feel best about. Edge, I have small concern on the depth. I'm actually confident in Jalix and Nolan. Safety, I got no clue. Cornerback is, as I've been saying all summer, is the number one spot for me that I have no idea what is going to happen there. So you look at that, you look at the way the team won last year, and you're like, yeah, I mean, this defense, if they take a significant step back, it's not only going to make things harder defensively, but it's going to make things a lot harder offensively, because the complementary nature of the game you played last year is going to go out the window. So, I think that's where, look, I'm still optimistic. I don't want people to think, oh, I'm not selling, I'm not out.
No.
I don't think that they're not going to win. I just look and you say, you have more of a climb this year than I think we anticipated. If you come into camp and Keely Ringo looks like a starting cornerback and Andrew Makuba looks ready to go, or Sidney Brown steals the job, you're probably like, look, see, this is why they let those guys go. We haven't really gotten that at either safety or corner. And you wonder, the other thing I'm thinking at this point is, Sills, what's Howie doing? Because I know that trade yesterday might tell you some things about Dotson or AJ, but something else I think is coming with Howie Roseman. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if it's a splash. I'm not sure if he's going to go against what he's done this whole offseason by going really cheap everywhere. But I feel like something else is coming. Not sure what.
I'm going to make a comment here about Keely Ringo here. And you know what? Being right about a player not making it fucking sucks. I don't like that. I don't care what anybody thinks about how I put these predictions on. At the end of the day, I was Keely Ringo fighting for jobs. So that sucks. But here's the deal here. Somebody on my X account goes like this. Way to go. Really a bold prediction that you said that the guy wouldn't win the job. Hey, we'll get to it. And he goes, it's low-hanging fruit. Wait a minute. You're the ones that spent 3 years and traded up to get the guy. You're the ones that put all the player development into the guy. And the guy's going the other way. I mean, he is not winning that job. What happens at corner 2? And now for the
Well, I
first.
don't get why that would be low-hanging fruit. We let Darius Slay and Isaiah Rodgers walk because we presumed that we had the next guy up. I don't get why that's even low-hanging fruit. I mean, look, I disagree with you more than anybody on your show. You know that. We bicker every single day here, Monday through Friday, but that's not low-hanging fruit. That is the fruit. That is the fruit on the tree right now, is that the defense has problems because of who they let go, and we put our stake in Ringo.
Yeah.
The guy hasn't done shit. He's not even getting first-team reps anymore, Sills. 2 practices in a row now, not a first-team rep for Ringo.
And now what I heard Vic say is that he's going to get a look out at corner today.
Cooper
is going to get a look at corner today. I mean, how do you think they resolve that? Do you think – we'll get to the trade here in a minute. Do you think that they're going to make another move for a corner?
I don't know. I mean, look, they made one move. How many moves are they going to make there? I'm not really sure,
2 moves in 13 days they've made.
Right, with a wide receiver, which I didn't really get. But, I mean, look, we'll talk about that, I'm sure. I'll wait for that. But, yeah, I'll wait for that. But corner, I don't know. I mean, they already made a move there. How many moves will they make? Will they make another move at corner? I don't know. Maybe if there's a more veteran or certified player out there. But I don't see a purpose in bringing in Jacorian Bennett Part 2. If it's a guy that's stashed on a roster who couldn't get on the field or hasn't worked out, or I don't think that really fixes what you're looking for. I mean, that's what we went for with Jacorian Bennett. Wouldn't they have just, in the trade that they made there, traded for somebody else if they were looking for somebody better than him? So, yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't think they would trade again for the corner.
You know who's on the market right now?
Who's that?
Jameel Dean.
Oh yeah, I saw that tweet today from you.
Okay,
yeah, the Bucks guy.
The Bucks guy is on. He's on the market. They want to get some cap relief. He's not bad.
I just don't know. Like, dude, why'd they wait till August 18th?
Because they wanted to see Benjamin Morrison, the kid from Notre Dame, and I think he's outplayed him.
Benjamin, it's funny because I was saying Benjamin Morrison pre-draft last year because that kid had injury problems in college, but
I was wrong. He looks great.
He's a good player for sure.
He looks great here.
All right. Well, look, if there's names out there, then maybe. I mean, look, Howie's got a lot of draft capital right now. I don't think he's going to rest on his laurels. But at the end of the day, the question is like, okay, let's say Howie identifies he wants to make a move. Like, what's the price he's willing to pay? Is it a draft pick? Is it, remember, because a lot of these guys you want to trade for, you got to give them a contract too on the way in.
Yes.
And everything they've done this offseason has been a clear indication they're prepping for the massive contracts that are coming down the pipeline with Jordan Davis, with Jalen Carter, with, Quinyon and Cooper DeJean, with Moro Ajomo potentially, with Nolan Smith, with all these guys. So, look, what does he want to pay? Does he want to go in the Temu route? That's going to limit your trade pool significantly. If you're ready to pay somebody, well, shit, you're going to start talking about some different names.
Okay, so here's the deal. It's the second trade in 13 days for the Eagles. They sent Harrison Bennett to the Texans for John Mechie, the former Bama receiver, who was really great in college, by the way. And the Eagles part with the 2026 fifth rounder, and they get the Texans 2026 sixth rounder. My question to you is, okay, either A.J. Brown is injured or they're trading him. Pick one. I mean, or they're pick one, because here,
I don't feel like that.
Bro, here's the third. Here's what the third wide receiver got last year in Philly. 35 catches with 6 players. I didn't know there was a need, and I kept
you're not trading. What are you
okay,
trading?
No. I'm making a point here.
Yeah, all right. I'll let you finish.
I'm making the injury point here. This is more so than this. I'm making the injury point. So here's where I'm going with it. Because John Dotson, every single scrum, I hear people going to Jalen. Hey, your chemistry with Dotson is great. You guys have been able to work more.
I have heard that a lot this summer.
Okay, and how about this? You guys, you had him last year. He came in on the week of the opening season. Now you've had more time. And Jalen's even going, yeah, me and him are really working well. I didn't know there was a need for another wide out there. And plus, Anaya Smith, he's starting to look like something, at least, that he didn't look like a year ago. He's clearly having a better preseason than he did a year ago. So why the trade?
Well, I mean, can you listen?
He's hurt.
I'm wondering about A.J. Brown, too, in terms of how bad that hamstring is, but I don't think it's long-term. I'm looking at it more from weeks 1 through 4. Could A.J. miss some time early? But is it fair, Sills, to zoom out and just say this? They were about to cut Harrison Bryant. They knew that. They've already identified that.
They were about to cut this guy, Michi, and Texans, too.
That's what I'm saying. So the Eagles were like, I'd rather take that dart than the Harrison Bryant dart, who we've already identified we're going to cut. So it's like we basically traded nothing to bring him. I know we can wonder. I know it's not the position that we thought. I know that it does make you question Darius Cooper, Jahan Dotson, and maybe even A.J. Brown and the injury. But we really gave up nothing. Like we didn't give up
practice today?
No.
Okay. So in the last 3 years, AJ missed the playoff game 4 games a year ago.
Yeah.
And now all of camp. I don't know. And you make a trade for a wideout. Is that all coincidence?
Listen, I can't say you're too wrong about that, but I don't think it's big picture concern with AJ. I don't think trading AJ is something at all.
I was trying to make a point.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I mean, it is a little weird. I mean, of everything we've looked at this offseason, receiver was not the thing we needed to do.
You said edge,
right? Edge, corner, safety, somewhere. Yeah,
depth, maybe more at like what O-line, right?
Dude,
something like that.
Tackle. Like, yo, can you hear me out on this? Jalen Carter is a dominant football player. Jordan Davis is better than many think in my eyes. Moro Ojomo, I think, is going to be great. After those 3, it's like a falling off the face of the planet.
Yeah.
They got rid of Thomas Booker, and I was told, oh, who cares? It's the 5th defensive tackle. Ty Robinson's not ready to play yet in the NFL, and this guy Gabe Hall is not ready to play yet. Last year, we didn't just have 3-man rotation on the interior of the D-line. It would have made more sense to trade for a defensive lineman than a wide receiver.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, just by looking at it in a vacuum of that, why trade for a receiver? Hey, maybe AJ's dealing with something, but I don't think it's huge. I'm just like, I don't know. Could he not be ready for week 1? It looks like it's possible.
How about this here too? All right. By the way, all supers will be read at the end of the segment. Don't forget Gary Cobb at 4:30, and also we're going to have Howard Eskin at 5:30 here. Okay, so here's my deal with Trotter. Trotter looks slow out there to me, but when you have Davis and Carter in front of the kid, that's going to cover up a little bit of that. He's going to play. The 2 defensive tackles that played in front of him were not very good. I thought the Browns knocked those dudes off the football in that game, especially in the first half. I mean, the Browns had 200 yards in like the first half, and Eagles had 38. Were you a little concerned with the O-line, the way they got knocked around? And, dude, the guy who was playing left guard, who's potentially going to play for Landon versus the Cowboys, he's the guy that gave up that Robinson hit, and the quarterback almost got him killed. I mean, are you concerned a little bit with the depth of the O-line?
I mean, I'm not overly concerned, but as we talked about in the beginning of this segment, and this might be one of the prices you pay for success, where it's just not as deep. I mean, remember, last year I know we lost Fred Johnson, but we also lost Mekhi Becton, which made Tyler Steen, who was a great backup. He was a good depth piece backup. Now in the starting role, that changes. If he gets hurt, you don't have that depth anymore, obviously. And it looks like really the only backup offensive line. Well, there's a couple that I think Drew Kendall was pretty good in that game. He's a rookie player. I thought I was pretty optimistic on him, but Kendall Lamb maybe okay. But I mean, look, you might be right in that. We were told 14 NFL ready offensive linemen. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I'm going to have to ask John about that tonight.
What about waiting on Reed Blankenship's deal? What's up with this?
Yeah, maybe. Could be coming.
Okay.
A couple weeks still. What are we? How many weeks out are we from the opener? 2.5 weeks, right?
This is the last week of preseason football.
Last week of preseason football. Then you got 1 week, and then we have the following Thursday night.
Start of the season.
The following Thursday night.
Bro, I'm telling you, my prediction is March. Like they did with Zach Bond. Right before free agency starts is when they're going to do that. Okay.
Do you think they've identified whether they want to pay Reed or not yet?
The more this goes on, the more I don't think they do. Or Reed, this could be a Reed deal. They might have a deal on the table. And Reed doesn't like the money. You ever think
remember, Milton Williams did that.
There could be a deal.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to pay Milton Williams. Milton Williams said, I'm going to bet on myself.
Yeah.
And it worked out for him.
Reed may be doing the same thing here, man. He may be going like this. I'm going to get a contract there. And you know what? If we go back to a Super Bowl and we play well. So what about today, Vic saying that Nolan was hurt a little bit, and that's why they put Jalen Hunt over there?
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of that. I didn't know exactly what to make of that. Shows you the lack of depth. Got to move one. You got to move your right edge all the way to the left edge. If your left edge gets banged up even a little bit, because you don't really know if those other guys can play left at all.
That is exactly the thought, and that's
great
and smart. You got to move a guy who you're projecting to be a starter to fucking backup,
right?
Because that guy you're not sure. That's Vic not really being sold that guy's going to hold up over there.
Yeah, I agree.
So then that means you've got Aziz and you've got Joshua, right? That are going to be the maybe rotating other edge rushers. Bro, you got a problem there. So I would ask you, you think Howie's one of the 5 teams that's taking a look at this Trey Hendrickson thing?
I don't know, dude. It's so against everything he's done this offseason. And by the way, does he even fit what Vic wants to do? He's a power rusher.
They want a player and a 1 for Trey.
Yeah, but does
you got to pay north of 35.
And does the skill set even fit what Vic wants?
I don't like the player.
Look at the edge rushers that Vic has used. I mean, Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt are
those kind of guys.
I mean, he wants guys that can drop into the flat. He wants guys that can set the edge. He wants, speed rushers around the edge, and he wants more versatile ends. I don't think he wants.
Now he's got 35 sacks in the last 2 years.
I know he does, but I mean, look what Vic's defense proved last year. It's not a defense that thrives on sacks. Their top sack guy last year at 8.5. They were the best defense in football by a wide margin.
Who do you like at safety right now, Makuba or Sidney?
Big jump from Saturday's game. I'm wondering if Makuba's the bigger upside. You might have some serious growing pains with him early, but if you get over that hump and he can figure out how to play the position better, and then he gives you that knack for the ball ability, because remember, Sills, he's better in space than Sidney Brown. And Vic's safeties have to be good in space. That's why he doesn't like Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown's great in the red zone for one reason. He's a good downhill player. He's not good trying to survey the field, playing in space with nobody behind him. Makuba's got a much better knack for that. Remember, Makuba played some slot in college, so he understands that part of the position way better than Sidney, I think. Now you add in the knack for the ball. Shit, I think I'm going Makuba, even if he stinks first 6 weeks.
And I would put this out there. Don't you think Makuba's going to be more in a position to succeed if you have Cooper in the slot next to him, you have Reed next to him, and you have Q on the other side traveling? I mean, he's going to look better, and you have Bond in front of him, right? So, I mean, with better football players back there, you're probably going to be able to cover it. But what about Vic's comment today? Nobody has separated themselves. Really, there's jobs that are out there right now. There's a safety job and there's a corner job that are open.
It's pretty clear that Vic does not like the corners right now. I mean, he's not going to say that, but he says it in a different kind of way if you listen closely. He says, most times in camp, a player has already differentiated themselves. Right now, nobody has. He didn't say that in terms of everyone is so good, it's hard to pick. It was everyone is so bad, it's hard to pick which one's the best. That's what it sounded like to me. So not good from that front. Safety, I think is a little bit different because of the Makuba injury. John uses this analogy, and I think is really a good one, is most teams come into camp with like a GPS set on where they wanted to go on a certain position. For the Eagles, it was Makuba at safety, and it was Ringo at corner. That was where they wanted. So there might be some turns. You might go to take the wrong direction. At the end of the day, your GPS is always going to lead you back to where you wanted to go. I think that's where they wanted to go with Makuba. Because of the injury, it delayed it a little bit, had him keep Sidney Brown in there a little bit longer, and potentially altered when they could get Makuba on the field for full-time first team. I think that's going to happen now quick in the next couple of weeks. You might not hear much about it because the reporters are going to lose access. Only 2 more practices now after today of training camp. Pretty crazy, it's almost the end of training camp here now, brother. But I think that one's a little bit easier to explain. Corner is different because It's been Sidney, or it's been Keely, and it's been Adoree, and then you added a name, and now Vic's talking about the added name that he's likes what he's done. So they don't know. They don't have the guy. And any of the guys that do win right now that we have, do you feel confident about any of them?
No, I don't know.
Like, for example, if Vic comes out and says, okay, everybody, Keely Ringo is going to be our starting safety, the only thing that does for me is say, okay, now I know who's starting. It doesn't change my concern at all.
No, remember something. And I think people think that Vic's system is going to cover deficiencies in players.
Well, I think it will help him. I think it will help him more than other.
Remember what Dave said, though. It won't be Vic's scheme. It'll be the players in the scheme that will let the system down.
I mean, look, we talked about this before. Vic is not a magician. I think they've kind of fucked Vic over. I'm not going to lie to you.
Say that again?
How do you – I just don't get this. Like, how do you go to the Super Bowl and you have the number one defense in football? You had a defense that literally rivaled the gangrene era of Eagles land. Where
you're more accomplished.
And way more accomplished. And then you go into the following season, and instead of re-up, like if you told me they brought back the whole defense and they let the offense change, I'd have been like, all right, well, that kind of makes a little bit of sense. Like last year was a defensive team and a running team. Keep the running back, keep the offensive line, keep the quarterback, and everything else could be a moving part. Defense, you got to return everybody. Like they fucked Vic. Vic took their ingredients last year, baked a 5-star cake, and instead of building them a new kitchen, they put them back in the penthouse or in the hen house.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes a lot of sense why they did that.
Let me play devil's advocate with you on something here, and let me play a game with you here for a minute.
Still's playing devil's advocate. Can't
okay. And let me play a game with you here. Would you rather keep AJ on the team or bring everyone back on last year's defense?
That's a tough one. I'm probably going to go AJ because we can't win without him.
You think you're going to win without that number one defense?
No, because we couldn't win without a good defense in 23 either. That's the reason for the collapse. But it's just this is a tough name that you say because I've seen no evidence of the team being able to win without A.J. Brown. None.
Or the offense to function correctly.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to like if you said Smitty.
Keep A.J. and do you think that's their mentality? Keep the offense together because they pay all that money over there, and we're going to sacrifice, like Douglas always says.
Well, you know what?
Defense is a luxury.
That's fine, but look, if that's the approach, that's all good. But that means your offense has to hold it up in its end of the bargain. If you're putting all your money on the offense, I mean, let's go, offense. I need you to score 35 a game. Because even if your defense falls from 20 a game they gave up or whatever it was last year to 28 a game, you got to still win football games because you're the reason that the roster is not spread as evenly. I mean, think about it. Phil's, every player on offense, every fucking player outside of Tyler Steen is paid. AJ Brown's paid. Devontae's paid. Dallas Goedert got paid. Cam Jurgens paid. Dickerson paid. Mailata Lane paid. Saquon paid. Jalen paid. Everybody's paid. The whole offense is paid except for the new guy, Tyler Steen. That is it. And Jahan Dotson.
And Steen's on a rookie deal still.
Steen's on a rookie deal. So, again, I'm not mad at that. That's fine. But you better be a damn good offense because last year the defense was a bigger part of the reason that we won the Super Bowl. So you got to hold up your end of the bargain if your expectation is to return and win another Super Bowl. The only way to do that is either going to be Vic being a magic man or the offense taking some pressure off.
So, you think AJ's happy?
I don't think he's up. I don't think he's not happy. I think he likes the area. I think he personally.
That guy's he's not a top 25
player. What are you asking? I mean, that's a tough question. Is he personally happy? Is he professionally unhappy?
Professionally. You think he's happy professionally here?
I think he's pretty happy. I do. I mean, I think he got traded here from a bum organization in Tennessee that has really no chance at winning. I think he came to a limelight organization where the spotlight is always on them. I think he's had 4,000 yards in 3 seasons. I think he's been an all-pro multiple times. He has a Super Bowl ring on his finger. He's experienced both personal accomplishment and team accomplishment. I think he's happy. I do. I think he's happy. I think there could always be more, But look, I mean, one of my favorite songs when I was growing
He's
up
not
is
a
the
top
song
25 player now. All of a sudden, he's fallen like he's not a top 25 guy.
Listen, but let me finish this next part. I mean, there's a song I love when I was a kid by J. Cole. It's called Love Yours. And it's just like, there's always going to be a nicer car. There's always going to be a hotter woman. There's always going to be a bigger house. There's always going to be everything. You know, like until you love what you have, or until you appreciate until you appreciate what you got, you're not, I mean, like, you know what I mean? So if I'm AJ Brown, you got to say, hey, look, yeah, I could maybe have better stats if I was in Cincinnati, or I could maybe get more yards if I played here. But, fuck that. I got more here. My family likes it here. I got a good family life here. I got a good team. I got Sig Lord says my girl just popped out of the shadows from over in the kitchen, and she said, "What did you just say?" No, there is not a single woman on the planet that looks better than my beautiful girl.
Don't worry, he'll do the lawn next Tuesday.
No longer.
Hold on. I think there's going to be a lot of books being read on that sidelines this year.
Put the book away.
I think there's going to be a lot of books being
sold. Put the fucking
sold.
book away.
Hey, no. You tell him.
Don't you agree, though? It's like, dude, what? Yeah, no, like, yeah, AJ doesn't have everybody, but or doesn't have everything, but nobody does, dude. Welcome to the world, Nobody's got everything. I promise you. The person you think that has everything doesn't. I guarantee it. Absolutely. All right? They got skeletons in their closet. They got shit that sucks. They got stuff that's hard. That's everybody. Everybody's got to cross the bear.
What are you feeling is the biggest light when it comes to a player that's not been brought back, CJ or Slay?
What was the question? Who's the bigger
In your
loss?
opinion, the biggest light on what position do you think it is now showing so far in a month of camp? Is it the loss of Gardner Johnson, or is it the loss of Slay?
I think it's the loss of Slay. You can't replace him. You got 3 guys trying to replace him.
3? More like 5.
Yeah. So I think it's Slay.
Do you think your corner?
CJ, I feel like CJ was a big impact last year, but like Makuba already showed that he could potentially. Now it might not happen right away. I'm going to give Makuba 8 weeks. I mean, I got to give the guy a little bit of time, right? I can't expect everybody to just come.
Dude, get this. I told you they get hall passes.
I think Makuba had. I think he showed that he's going to have some of that upside. I think he's going to be able to replace him.
They get hall passes with me because they're learning. And when they get out there with better players, Xander, they're going to be better. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm okay with the look. I thought the 2 things that those 2 dudes showed me on Saturday was this. You see skill set. And Jimmy Johnson used to say it all the time. He wants people around the ball all the time. And guys, you know what? You can't put turnovers as a stat. You just can't. You can't count on him. However, is it Gardner Johnson one of those guys that the football's just always around him? He had 12 picks in 2 years.
Yeah, he was.
In Philly. He could bust the scheme any moment, jump out of the rails of the defense.
Yeah, remember, he also got beat.
Still make plays.
He did, but he also got beat a lot. Makuba's a little better at that.
Yeah. Okay, you're going to learn to live with that.
I think Makuba's a little bit better at taking smart risk.
So I'm going to ask you a question that I asked you the entire offseason. Do you believe that they put more of a focus on 26 and 27 than this year? Is that becoming more evident?
It's definitely becoming more evident. I'm not saying it in the sense of they don't.
Not self-sabotaging.
Well, they're not trying to not win in 25. They're just at a crux period in transition of spending and where money can get allocated to. That this year, like last year, they signed Saquon Barker. They signed Bryce Huff. They did make some splashes, even if they didn't all work. They didn't make any of those this year. It was a lot going out and a lot of Temu cheap guys coming in. And right now, we're going through the process of this Temu guy worked. It's like you order something on Amazon and they're all $8. Some of the shit you keep because it's got you. Some of the shit is like, it's China junk. Get rid of it. That's what you're looking at right now. That's why we're debating so many people right now. They brought in 9 dudes and they're all Temus. You're getting a couple that might work and a couple that are not going to work at all. That's what they've done. So it's fair to look at it and say, with where the team was, with where the contracts were, with where the salary cap is and everything like that, they're going to be in a better or a different position next year than they are for this year. But here's what my problem with it. How are you going to spend more next year? You're not.
Well,
this doesn't get easier.
No, someone's got to go.
So you're going to have 2 years of losing players.
Or you better not lose those void years. League comes in there and loses them void years.
We're not, it's not going to be.
Okay. Now, I want to go back to AJ. Couple last ones here for you, Xander. Then we'll read some of the supers, and Gary Cobb from Fox 29 will be with us at the bottom of the hour here. So let me get this right here. All the things we mentioned about the last couple of years with injuries, you got a brand new offensive coordinator. Jalen Hurts and him have not really worked at all when it comes to the chemistry of improving a passing game. How are you trying to tell me, not you, I'm talking everyone telling me, you're going to get more out of the passing game when you fucking haven't worked at it?
Well, they haven't worked at it in the sense that A.J. Brown was tweeting for a quarterback to have this offseason. Remember he tweeted that out? Anybody got any quarterback in the area I can work with?
Looking for a quarterback.
Yeah, so that him and Jalen weren't working. Apparently, as you pointed out, Jalen and Jahan Dotson were working together down in Texas. I don't know what that means or how much they were doing that. And now no camp for A.J. Brown. I mean, it's fair to wonder. I do think A.J. is one of the rare –
too.
I think AJ's one of the rare players of dude, turn on his tape. You know how to use the guy. You know what I mean? I don't need that much help with how to use that guy. He can be used in any way. Do you wonder at all if AJ's got any rust?
I mean, and then you make a trade too. I mean, my question would be, how are you going to improve the passing game? And how are you improving on trying to get that passing game from 29th when this is your quote. You said this.
I hate when you use my quotes against
me. Jalen Hurts is going to have to be
the worst word I can hear. This was your quote. Oh, fuck.
Hey, didn't you say that Jalen Hurts is going to have to do more this year, and he's going to have to play at an MVP level because teams are going to come in and they're going to be aiming at stopping Barkley? Well, how are you doing that when your number one primary target hasn't practiced the entire spring? How
they got more. This is year 4 together, so that it's not like it's not like you're looking at
wasn't like they were high volume last year.
No, they weren't. And AJ Brown let you know about it. He wasn't happy about that. I mean, remember the way he handled it.
Any concerns with that?
I wouldn't say concerns, but it's something to watch. It's something to watch. I mean, if the team comes out and they're slow as heck in offense and they don't look good and AJ and Jalen don't have any chemistry, I think it'll be fair to point to that. But I can't worry about that with a player of his caliber. I just can't. You want me to worry about Jahan Dotson or Mechie? Okay, I'm good with that. I can't worry about it with AJ.
Okay. So your words right now. You ready?
Yep.
You're not worried about AJ. You're not worried about Hurts because they're professionals. Is that right? Okay. Well, what about the new fucking coordinator that's never called a play? You worried about his chemistry with how to use those dudes when he's never called a play in his fucking entire life?
Well, how
he's
much?
Never got a rhythm. He's never even got a rhythm going with the quarterback yet.
I'll ask you, as somebody who knows tons of position coaches around the league, as somebody who's been around high areas of football, how much does it help Kevin Petula that he's been in the ear for the last 4 years?
Every position has its own requirements. And
I agree with that. I'm just saying, how much does it help knowing this is the way they call plays? This is the way they got it in. He's going to have his own style.
I think very little.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it does do. You can be honest with one another better because you know each other. You know what the players' strengths and weaknesses are. That's going to be easy for each other. But putting you in a position of success is something I've never done for you. Okay? Vic puts people in. Do you not agree that Vic last year put players in position to succeed and elevated Dean, Smith, Hunt, Carter, Cooper, all of those players, right? Why? because he's not only just a linebacker coach, and look what he did to Bond.
Yeah.
Putting players in position is a skill set also. Hey, dude, because I'm a D-line coach, that don't mean I'm a fucking coordinator. I mean, and just because I know the guys, that doesn't mean I know situational play calling. Even if I'm in the room, you got the final say on everything. You've got to put these players, get this. Kevin Petula doesn't only have to put AJ in the position of success, but he's got to put his quarterback into the position of success and the White on the other side in a position of success. All of that, Xander, one play is 11 dudes. One play is not one guy. You have to put everybody.
Isn't this kind of like a league-wide thing, though? They just don't practice a lot anymore, dude.
They don't practice getting people on the ground, and they don't practice chemistry.
No.
Yes, true, because you don't get practice time.
Now, I think it's made worse with AJ missing all of camp. I agree.
That's my point.
Yeah, he's missed a lot of camp.
Now, look, do I think they know one another? Do I think they know each other's strengths and absolutely?
I don't know, but this is what I'd say to Kevin Petula. Like, yo, dude, I don't give a fuck what you're dealing with. Like, you inherited a legitimate, not even a Lamborghini. You inherited a one-of-one hypercar that's made to order for some Uber billionaire. That's what you inherited. You didn't inherit a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. You got one of one. If AJ Brown
10 Bugattis are made a year,
up and do it. Like it's on Kevin Petula. It's not on AJ Brown.
Hey, no, right. That's what I'm saying. Get this. They make 10 Bugattis a year. That's what you got here.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
This is what you're right.
Just in, I ordered one for Big Sills. It's got the big Sills on the head.
Hey, like I said, it's not just what we're saying here. You're right, Xander. I'm not worried about AJ. I'm not worried about Hurts in that. Okay, let's get to some of these supers before we get to Gary Cobb.
Let's do it. Christopher says, I'm tired of the Ringo needs more time. Ringo equals trash.
Oh,
I'm losing. I mean, look, I'm losing confidence in Ringo. This is the second practice in a row, no first team reps. So you start practice 1 of training camp. The Eagles want this guy to win the job. They give him every position, every chance to win the job. And now 16 practices later, the last 2 practices and the final joint practice, he doesn't even get a rep with the first team. I mean, he's clearly going the wrong way. So we're all losing confidence in Ringo, I think. Kimberly Sirico checks in. Ringo went in the draft too soon. Needs more time to bake.
Time's up.
Time's up is right, Kim.
3 years he's been on the team.
He did go into the draft too soon, though.
Yeah, and they traded up to get him. So, this thing's over.
Kyle says, is the glorified CPA still suffering from a concussion from getting hit from a Bud Light?
Listen, I wouldn't go there right now.
You can't be chirping Howie. This guy, come on, man, Kyle. Of all the people you could chirp, I don't think Howie Roseman's the guy you can chirp right now.
No.
Ray says, Sills and Z want the jambalaya, but Vic needs to cook. Well, Race, it's hard to make a jambalaya when you don't have any salt or any seasoning. I mean, come on, man. Did they strip this guy of all his seasoning and they want him to make the finest jambalaya in all the land?
And the blowtorch is real.
You can't make jambalaya without any protein.
Or crayfish. How you doing?
Brian says, Sills, I don't trust these fragile players. Like Beignets tried to tackle a dude and almost exploded. Reminds me of Maddox, SMH.
He calls him Beignet. Wait, Beignet. Jacovian Beignet.
This guy might be.
I actually think he's your starter.
Prince says, I know about season. Hey, Prince, I might be a white guy. My mom's 100% Italian. All right? I might be a white guy, Prince, but my mom's 100% Italian. We know how to season food, Prince.
I'm not a white guy. I'm Italian.
I know. You always say that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all.
White guys don't run like me.
All right. I'll see you, brother.
Hey, brother, keep up the great work. By the way, Birds 365, right after.
Yeah, tonight, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, great work this weekend, Big Z. Absolutely awesome, man. Holy cow. I couldn't wait to get to G Cobb because crap that people don't realize. And Gary, get this, Gary Cobb is exactly what Saturday was in his career. And let me explain. Gary Cobb was a late round draft choice fighting for a roster spot. He made his 10-plus year career based on games like that. 22 starters. 35 guys have to be picked out of that shit we saw this past weekend. 35 guys. I'll tell you this, that had to be the worst effort in 4 years of me covering the Eagles. In what we saw. With all that being said, one of my dear friends, guy that I looked up to when I was a kid, and here he is from Fox 29, our friend Gary Cobb. G Cobb, how you doing, brother?
Good, good. How you making out?
All right, man.
That was bad.
Give me your takeaways on what you witnessed this past weekend.
Well, very disappointed in the backup quarterbacks. I mean, you got, horrible. Offensively, that was just ridiculous. And then defensively, you're really troubled by a lot of players that you don't see them really shining. I was really disappointed in what I saw, because it just seems that, this is a time when guys know, look, you're either going to make the team or they're going to cut you. So you got plenty of motivation to go out and show us what you got. And, you got a team, they got two quarterbacks. Now, you excuse probably the younger kid, but the quarterbacking was horrible. It looked like, kids you got off the street that they didn't practice at all. So that was bad. You didn't like the way defensively they just marched down the field when the game started. It was like, it's like this is practice.
Seven series, Gary. 7 scores on those 7 series out of the gate.
Horrible. That's just really bad. So I just see a team now. You've got some good players sitting over there watching the game. But if anybody gets hurt, you're looking at the backups. You're going
Gary,
like,
here was my problem, Gary. Is that Keely Ringo, Sidney Brown.
Oh boy.
Those guys are fighting for starting jobs, and they were getting torched by the 4th team starting quarterback for the Browns and the 2nd team offensive guys. If those guys are starting and looking for jobs, those are the guys that you're picking the final spots to look on your roster. I mean, as I mentioned, Gary, you got to pick 35 players off of what you saw to fill that roster. Let's just put it out there, Gary. If 22 guys are sitting on the sidelines, well, 57 dudes are on a roster.
That's right.
35 more men. I thought the Browns marched up and down the field at will. And that defense, in my opinion, Keely Ringo at corner number 2, he's just not cutting it.
No, he's not. And the thing is, it's not even close. And you're wondering, like, what happened to him? He looks like he's moving at, he's like his old man out there or something.
Yeah.
And this kid's supposed to have run a 4.3. Yeah. You're going like, what? The kid didn't run any 4.3. The kid can't cover anybody, And you hate to see that, because, you're looking at the end of people's career, or at least as Eagles, because, there are other people pick them up, maybe, and everything, but you're just saying, like, this is when, if you ever stand up now, your career's on the line. You figure you're going to get to challenge the kid. I'm sure they talked to him before the game, told him, dude, we got to see something from you, man. And then you see that kind of performance, hopefully the kid will make it somewhere else, but he basically ending his time with the Eagles playing that poorly. I mean, how could you keep a kid that's playing that poorly? So, that's, I don't know him real well, but, I met him and everything. You're rooting for him. Go on, come on, man. Let's see what you got now. And you didn't see anything. And really, the defense, to start out the game, man, my goodness. Like I said, just march right down the field. You didn't see anybody get mad or anything, just like, okay. And that wasn't good either, because if you're going to play, man, so what it makes you feel is like, oh boy, we don't need to get anybody hurt, man. Whew. Through this year, man.
You take an injury like you did a year ago with Slay or with Dean or with anyone. You got a massive. You're filling holes with dudes that cannot replace those guys. I mean, you have not replaced Slay and Gardner Johnson, in my opinion, whatsoever. I mean, even the kid Steen, who's had a decent camp, hasn't replaced Becton. And then the kid Tooth on the other side of the ball, he's the one that got the quarterback almost decapitated in the ball game.
Yeah.
That's the guy that's going to go into the Cowboy game.
I know.
Gary, did they do too much damage in the offseason by allowing too many people to go?
Well, right now, I would say yes. But I know they feel as if, these kids are going to be coached and everything, but, coaching only does but so much. I mean, I don't know how you, after seeing that, you feel good at all, because after looking at that, you feel like throwing up the whole lot. I mean, it's just like, oh my goodness, man. We're going to have to clean house. We got to go find some players somewhere. So all the scouts got to go, oh man, look at this. The guys they brought in, man, they got to be feeling what is going on with those guys. But it was really discouraging, and just gets you really concerned, because you know that you do have injuries during the season. It's just part of the game. But your depth is like done, man. You don't have any depth.
Let me, and you know what, Gary, you know me by now. I mean, I'm a conspiracy guy.
Yeah.
And you tell me if I'm reading this thing wrong here. So the Eagles, for the second trade in the last 13 days, they send Harrison Bryant to the Texans.
Yeah.
For John Michie. I didn't know the third wide receiver. By the way, Gary, just for knowledge, the third wide receiver a year ago had 35 catches between 5 guys. So I didn't know that was a priority, the third wide receiver. In return, the Eagles part with the 26th fifth rounder, and the Texans will send their 26th sixth rounder. Okay, so let me add to this now, the context of it. So A.J. Brown misses the playoff game against the Bucs in 23. Last year, he misses 4 games.
Yeah.
This year, he's missed all of training camp. You're either talking of moving him or he's injured. Pick one. I'm picking he's injured. I mean, how do you look at this now? I mean, if you're
well, you know what? It seems like, they just were so cool about it out there at training camp. I figured, well, they're just holding them out, man. They're just holding them out.
That's what I thought.
Now, but he wasn't going to play in the preseason, so I understand that. But when Cleveland comes in or another team, you figure this is when he's going to get some good work.
Joint practices.
That's right. So, times I don't understand, because of course they are quick about making sure guys don't, really make an injury worse. They would rather the guy rest, give him more time, and that sort of thing. So I just haven't made a big deal about it. But AJ's been out there, chilling, watching practice, just like me. I'm standing there watching practice. He's standing there watching practice. So I haven't made a big deal out of it. But after a while, you go, hey, we need some work, right?
Well, wouldn't you think, Gary, with a new coordinator and the fourth worst passing game, and if you're going to try to tell me you're going to improve the passing because you may be thinking that the defense may be a little slow in coming around,
yeah,
wouldn't you think that they would be at least working chemistry out there? How about this? So much so with the coordinator, I'm not so much worried about A.J. Brown getting reps in practice. I get that, and Jalen too. Yeah. But don't you think that new coordinator needs to get some type of chemistry built up in those joint practices with the players that he's going to try to put in position? Gary, I just got asked a question by Xander, and let me hear if you agree with me. So Xander goes, he asked the question. He goes, "Don't you think them knowing one another helps Kevin Petula call plays?" And I said, "No, I don't. I think situational play calling, I think that's a skill set. I think that's something you have to know." Gary, wide receiver coaches and O-line coaches and running back coaches are just that. When you become a coordinator, that's a whole different world. You got to put the entire unit in positions on every play to be successful, for a play to work. So I'm more concerned about the coordinator going into this than I am the 2 players.
Well, I think it's the kind of thing where they do know each other. They have been working together for a while, so I'm trying to have the confidence that, hey, it's not going to be a major change, meaning that Kevin Patullo wasn't getting final say on the plays that were going in, but he's on the speaker and he was involved in the conversation. So that means sometimes, hey, why don't we go with this? That he was contributing, and so he's already into this, and so this change isn't as big as some of the other ones, because he was there all the time. He was involved in the conversation. He was involved in the plays they were calling and everything. So I'm not looking on this as that big of a change when it comes to offense. Plus, he and Jalen, who are the key people in this conversation, they have been talking. They got a long going relationship, So I don't look on that as big, But like I said, with AJ though, I want you. Come on, you got to get some work. Somebody, what are we doing? We need our people that are going to be on the field. They need to get some time together. Now, I don't think it's time to be panicking and everything, because a lot of those people that were playing in the game, they're not going to be out there on the field anyway. But your depth, you are going to need, guys are going to get hurt. Things happen during the season. So you do want guys that look like they can play, that you got as backups, because somebody goes down. And as much as we hate to say it, somebody does go down. I mean, You don't play through the whole season and everybody's fine. No. So you want to see guys show they can play. And unfortunately, that mess against the Browns, that was horrible, man.
Horrible. Gary, what about the depth of the team? How are you feeling about it?
Well, defensively, of course, that's where I'm concerned. Defensively, when you start talking about the secondary, there's reason for concern. I mean, I can't say that I see a whole secondary back there. I don't see a whole secondary. I see some pieces, but not all the pieces are back there to where you feel comfortable with everybody that's sending out there. I think if you would ask them, they say, because I hear the defense coordinator basically say, look, yeah, guys are still battling for their spots. That means he hasn't seen, 11 starters or 12 starters. He has not seen them yet, to where they're out there playing during practice. He's waiting for guys to show themselves. So that's where they're at right now. Now, it's not ready. It's not time to panic, but it's getting near time to panic.
How about this one here? So Vic today was talking about, the secondary role being open, and he goes, yeah, right now you would have thought that we would have had somebody, rear its head and just show that, they've kind of making the position.
Yes.
But then something else, a little nugget came in. Today was the first day that Cooper was going to get reps at corner. Is the second corner on this team now, or is he not on this team?
Right now, we haven't seen him. I say, unless they are going to put Cooper over there.
Yeah.
But see, doing that, I don't know, man, because doing that, you're taking away one of the strengths of the team is having him playing that nickel. You got a guy who's as good as anybody in the league playing that nickel spot. So you don't want to move him out of that, because he's the one that gives you a chance to where you don't have abundance of, especially nickels in the league for that matter, that would like to go up and tackle people. Guys who are good cover guys that also like to tackle people. There's not an abundance of people like that in the NFL. Cooper happens to be one of them. So you want to take advantage of that. And of course, you want him on the field. But the way it looks now, for them to even be, they're sending a message by just moving him out there in the first place. To say he's going to take some cornerback work. What are they saying? We haven't seen a starting corner yet.
No one's grabbed the role.
Nobody's grabbed the role. So that's why we're thinking that we might have to move him out there. But it's going to really weaken the team in other ways. I don't want to see him go out there because you see what he can do at the nickel spot, and you need guys that are willing to tackle. I mean, you need to have those guys on the field. But I bet you they're thinking about the guys they let go and everything. I mean, but if you got you're not sure at that corner position, man, that could really be damaging. I tell you, boy, you can get hurt because big plays, man. Oh man, you could and if you look at the schedule and the wide receivers they got to play, that could really get ugly.
Especially the first 5 here. Who are you feeling the loss of more? Gardner Johnson or Slay?
Probably Slay. Yeah, Slay. And they're saying it's Slay. It's not as much Gardner Johnson because, they would have, well, they could, their second round pick, of course, he picked off the pass. He got, the touchdown and everything. He didn't play a lot. He kind of been banged up a lot. He hasn't practiced a lot.
Yeah.
But the kid get in there, you see he's got he's got a feel for the game, so you like to see that.
Do you think, Gary, with Makuba making those plays and that pick six and the fumble, do you think, again, because if you put the tape on, the Browns, they did what they wanted. I called those splash plays.
Yeah, and he had some problems in coverage too. Yeah,
he had. Vic even mentioned that he had covered. I mean, because you make 2 splash plays doesn't mean you played well. However, you being around the ball, how much do you play into that, especially at that position when Gardner Johnson was a guy the same way where he got beat deep too.
Yeah,
but he was a splash player with 12 picks in 2 years that he was here. So I mean, how much does that go into the valuation that guy's around the ball?
Well, I know in my experience in the game that if somebody has a consistency of making plays, they make plays. Certain guys make plays, certain guys don't. So that is something that, it's not a coincidence. After it keeps happening, it's not a coincidence. So I definitely think that's a good part of his ability and everything. But I don't want to just give up big plays, man, where you got a guy can't even think about covering somebody, No,
he got turned around by the 4th team quarterback in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's not something to get excited about. So he's got work to do, but the fact that he made a couple of big plays, we are looking at that. We're not just looking at that and saying, "Oh, that was just lucky." No, because it's happening over and over again in your career.
Is that more reps, Gary? Is that more reps?
I think it's more. I think it's more reps. Yeah, because he hasn't practiced a lot. He's been out. He's missed a lot of time. So I cut him some slack. I
did too.
I'll cut him some slack. But at that corner spot, they don't have the other corner. We haven't seen him, and you can't play in the league where you don't at least have 2 corners, man. Come on.
Oh, one could be a fantastic one, but you got to have somebody that you're his game is functional and reliable. You can.
Yes.
They just don't have that out there. I don't see anybody out there that's reliable.
I have not seen it, and looking at practices and everything, and then the games where it's been even worse than the practice. You say like, golly, man, I thought these guys were better than this, but you don't lie to yourself, and you see that there's they feel a little bit urgent because you see them start looking. They're looking around, bringing guys in. Clearly, they see a problem.
How about this? Couple last here for you. So Jahad Campbell, I'm also in that room with him. He made a sack, which is a really nice play, bud. You got to remember the guys in front of him. When you're a linebacker, Gary, if you got dogs in front of you and get knocked into you, and you don't, the line of scrimmage moves back, and you're playing well. The Browns knocked them off the ball, which is going to affect the linebacking play. And I thought there were times, but you see skill set on the Campbell kid that he's coming along. Is this more again by just getting acclimated to the game, in your opinion? Because I see hand placement, I see lateral movement, I see all of that. But I mean, again, this is more again about reps with him too, right?
Yeah, I think it's more reps with him, and then also getting comfortable enough with all the things they're doing because it's a lot on his plate, and then he's also they keeping him ready if he needs to be coming off the corner and stuff. So the kid has a lot on his plate, but I'm still positive about him. I think that he's coming along. You expect young players, you expect some mistakes anyway. So yeah, he made some mistakes, but he's going to get better, and he's done a lot. He's taken it a lot in a short period of time. So I still feel great about what I've seen with him. If it was just him, boy, I would really be happy. But it's some of these other guys that, you're not going to get better. Because I expect things are going to get better with him more and more because this is his first time with taking in all this information.
I think the Munden kid's too getting. I like the kid Munden too. I mean,
that's right. I think he's doing a good job as well. That's right. Because
he's showing it.
That's right. Because they're active, they're around the ball. Yeah. Long as they're doing that, they're going to make some mistakes because they got to make the calls too. See, that's what a lot of times, see, at that linebacker position, you got to make adjustments too. See, you not only got the things you've got to do, but you got to be able to tell people, hey, when they got to make an adjustment, you got to change something. Let's say during a motion or something. So you really got to do your homework and knowing the defense, knowing what everybody else has got to do too. So it's a lot to take in, and just been a short period of time since he's been out there. So I think he's been doing fine. I think he's going to be fine.
I'll tell you what, on a positive note too, Ajomo's the only guy really of the new faces that has kind of separated himself. Do you agree that he's won that gig? I mean,
yeah.
You could see that he's won that. The other guys are suspect conversation on, but he's probably, you think he's been a surprise at camp?
Well, I don't know if it's been a surprise because some of the other guys were saying that he was going to be the guy that clearly step in, and he just has a way of, some of the things he does might look a little awkward when he pass rushes, but he's breaking the neck of the guy he's rushing them. He's rushing against, meaning like they're having all kind of trouble with his strength and with his ability, to get underneath them and everything. He's got long arms, so I think he's going to be I'm excited to see him, if he can step in there and keep that pressure coming up the middle. Because if you can get pressure up the middle, now, if he can be good in one-on-one protections, then they're going to have to at times single up Carter. And if the Eagles get to that, you got a pass rush. You better believe, because they're going to have all kinds of trouble once they single up Carter. If he's making enough trouble for them to where they're thinking about giving his guy some help, see, then you got him. And then that makes the guys coming from outside, their job is easy if you're getting pressure from the inside. Then the quarterback can't step up. If he can't step up, then the guys coming from outside, they're going to have a field day and everything. So then you got a pressure, you got some a pass rush pressure, and if you got that, it helps the defensive backs and everything. But they got to find that other corner though, man. And you cannot play with just one guy.
I'll tell you something else that I'm starting to see a little bit. After Carter and Davis, man, I'll tell you, the loss of Thomas Booker in that trade.
Yeah.
I saw the Browns just blowing those dudes off the ball.
Now, that's a good point.
That was really on display there because, I mean, Ty Robinson's got a long way to go in his development. I mean, and don't expect too much. He's a 4th-round pick. I mean, I don't know what you guys are going to be looking at with him right out of the gate. But, boy, Gary, the depth at defensive tackle, that was also on display this past Saturday.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was very discouraging with the whole group. I don't know if it's something that they were, because they scrimmaged against them, they came into the game. But I don't understand. You go into a pro game and your job is on the line. How you go into the game and you're not ready to play? I mean, you're going to play. How could you show up and you're not ready to play? And and getting pushed around. Come on, man. What are you doing? I don't understand it. Hopefully, there's something better up the road. But that was just the Browns game was awful, man.
How about this one too? Let me ask you on Trotter. You tell me if this is a product of the people around him. I thought he was a liability in coverage. I thought he was slow. Now, Gary, when you're playing next to Bond and you've got Carter and Davis in front of you,
yes,
I mean, the talent level around you is going to cover for some of that stuff, and you're going to be able to go with more instincts when you're playing in there, when you got the first group. And when you've got guys that are kind of, you're never really going to get any kind of chemistry on the defense when you got 2, 3s, and 4s, right? You're just, that's not going to happen. So, I mean, for me, was he a product of the people
I think,
or was that a problem for you?
I think Trotter is the guy that is able to benefit from the fact you put in a game plan, You know what the other team likes to do. You study that, and you're playing with your smarts. And usually that's the way most games are played. When you got the preseason game, they're running anything. The thing that's not his strength is his quickness or his speed. That's not his strength. If he is in just a pure one-on-one, like sometimes just one-on-one drill where you don't know what the guy's running, he benefits from seeing the play. He knows the formation they're in. This is what they like to do. He knows what defense they're in, where he has help at and everything. Mentally, that's where he benefits. If it's just a pure athletic situation, that's not his strength, and then sometimes, in preseason game, none of those things are part of the game because you don't know what they're going to run, So I don't think that helps him. That doesn't help Trotter. And if it's just a pure speed and quickness thing, that's not where he excels at,
Gary, who do you think starts next to Bond?
Well, probably by the time they get going
for Dallas.
They're probably going to be alternating some, but you know that 30 is going to be in there at some, to some degree. He's either going to be all-out starter or he's going to be, in there getting some of the reps, and they're kind of alternating a little bit because they got to put him on the field because he's such a good athlete that he's going to be creating problems for the other team. Plus, he can run and he can cover. He's so big with the long arms and stuff. He's going to be, just a problem for the other team, because of the athlete he is. And I think they're going to find a way to get him on the field some. He's going to be part of what they want to do. And then who knows? I see some of the kids that I think that they're somewhat surprised in. And I think what is it? I don't know what round he was in. One of the other kids from Georgia. What's the other kid?
Smile London. London.
I think there's a chance for him. You can see that he's impressing them, and they're having to put him on the field more and more. And really, he has been probably, if I were to say, the surprise of the linebackers.
Yeah.
He has been the surprise of the linebackers in the camp.
So what you're saying right now is that there could be a rotation at the other off linebacker, a rotation
I think so.
at safety, and a rotation at corner.
Well, they got to find, they got to find something out at that corner spot.
3 positions with rotating guys to replace 3 dudes.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, and you can know this, is that they do not have guys, they so far that they say, hey, we got starters at this position. You haven't heard that from them.
Yeah.
So that lets you know that nobody's really shining. So that's what lets you know there's some concern that you don't have that long. How much longer do you have before the first game?
No, we're like, what are we, 14, 15 days out from the September 1st here? I mean, we're right around the corner here, right?
Yeah, so so you can see that there's some concern about certain positions. Nobody's just taking it. A lot of those spots have not been taken, so they're still looking. So there's some concern, but we'll see what happens. But it's obvious. It's obvious.
Play charades with you on the last one here. Who am I going to be this year on the sidelines here?
Boy.
Hey, you know this.
Yeah.
The top 25 players came out, and AJ's not in it. So, I mean, he's number 29, and I'm just saying.
I don't know what did they say it is now? It's a hamstring, right?
Yeah, hamstring. He's missed the entire training camp with a hamstring. He's out there, though, playing like quarterback out there at camp.
I know. I mean, I see him out there where I'm going, they got to be holding him out. I'm saying, hey, they got to be, because I know it doesn't look like he's that hurt, so they're holding him out. But,
okay. All right. For the 30th ranked passing offense, they're holding him out. All right. Hey, I got it. Cobb. Last week, the New York Jets. Holy cow. Hey, I'd rather be covering the Eagles.
I know.
Than covering that shit show in New York. I'll tell you that.
They are bad, boy. That's a bad looking group up there, boy.
Boy, I tell you, the Band-Aid guy, Woody Johnson, needs to stick to selling Band-Aids and hair conditioner because he can't run a football team to save his life. G. Cobb, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you doing this.
Hey, have a good one.
You got it, man. That's my friend Gary Cobb. Make sure you check him out at Fox 29 right there in Philadelphia. Absolutely. Whoa, man. Yeah, A.J. Brown, man. I don't know. You're going to be doing this. You'll be thumbing through them pages. Going to have a lot to think about coming up. Yep. Improving the 29th ranked passing offense. And he's sitting on his ass reading a book and can't play quarterback. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is going to be a great year. Oh, my God. We're already out of the gate like a banshee, man. Holy cow. Howard Eskin will join us. That'll be at 5:30 Eastern time. Where do we go here? I haven't even really gotten to all of my – hang on here for him. Here we go. I got to two of them. Let's get to Vic here for a second. So Vic spoke. Vic Fangio spoke. So A.J. Brown's not a top 25 NFL player. I see why he's now on the list of he's the third best receiver in the NFC East. Oh, by the way, tonight, the soon-to-be NFC East champion Washington Redskins are playing the Bengals tonight. Can't wait to watch that thing tonight here. And Jaden Daniels is going to play tonight. The best quarterback in the NFC East is going tonight. So here was Vic today. He was asked the question about your cornerback two, who all of you told me and swore to me, like M. Reyes, Keely Ringo, all-pro. Yeah, all-pro what? Fourth team? Okay. Has anybody separated themselves at corner? Not yet. All the guys are in for a battle. Nobody's won the job yet. Here we go. August 18th. Whew. Man. Makuba. I love the way he addressed Makuba. You know what he said? Well, the turnover was more on them, and the fumble was more on them. He downplayed it. Because you know why? He saw the same stuff I did. I thought he was good at times. He wasn't great. Go watch the film. Isn't it funny? You go on social media. This is what you heard. Oh, my God. Makuba's a dog. You're like, Dylan Gabriel did what they wanted against him. They didn't stop that offense. 7 straight series they scored. What were you watching? They had like a few splash plays, but the Browns dominated. Guys were looking for a starting job. Crazy. Hey, the kid Jacorian Bennett, I'm good with him. I think he needs more reps. I want to see him play a lot. Get this. See this here? That's a lie. That's a lie right there. He torched the third-string defense. No. He torched a guy who's fighting for a starting corner job. He torched a guy who's starting for a safety job in Makuba. He torched a guy who's starting or fighting for a safety job in Sidney Brown. Those guys got torched. Last Saturday, 60% of your players that are going to make your roster for the starting 57 played on Saturday. And were destroyed. Destroyed. How you doing? Jihad Campbell and Makuba and Smile Munden, those guys get hall passes with me. They're learning the game. Okay? They're learning the game. Okay? Let's see. Who? Gave up 12 points and forced 2 turnovers. The one thing that this guy, destroyed. They had 200 yards. Get this. He goes to the one stat it doesn't matter in preseason. Instead of going to the number, that was actually the thing you look at, going up and down the field on them. This is why this guy here doesn't know what he's doing, and this is why we're here. See a guy like this? He looks at the most meaningless thing in preseason, the scoreboard, instead of actually what happened in the game. A 14 quarterback with a second-team O-line beat the shit out of your guys fighting for spots. Once again, you're not looking at the right thing, which is normal. Okay? Which is normal. Hold on here. Look how dumb. Wow. This is actually an exercise in how fucking dumb some of you are. They are rookies. Give them time. I just said that. They have potential. You could see it with Campbell and Makubo. I just said that. Seals, do you need to pay rent at the rock you hide under when the Eagle defense shows up? What? Again, another take that is so off the reservation. I have no idea what he's talking about. Like most of his takes. No idea what the fuck he's talking about. Again, clearly one of the biggest buffoons in here. Hey, Flacco, Pickett, Sanders, Gabriel. Gabriel won't go through waivers. They did take him in the 3rd round. Okay? Good for you, Devin. Isn't that the Vic scheme? No. How can you sit there and think, get this, let me help this guy out. How many people believe that Vic's scheme is going to work with players from the second, that chart on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th teams are going to play in a scheme with continuity when you've got 2nd and 3rd and 4th teamers? It's just dumb. What are you guys looking at? Okay? Yeah. Hey, NJ Fishing Maniac. It's better than what I'm seeing in Minnesota and New England with those cheerleader things. I don't know what's going on, man. Holy cow. I was a little embarrassed. Some of the shit I was watching. I don't know what the hell I was seeing. That guy dressed in that, I don't know. I was like, dude. Hey, I know. Hold on. When I saw the guy in Minnesota and the New England Patriot dude on the dance team, I did this. Watch. Wow. Hey, what's this? Whoa. Yeah. Okay. Oh, my God. Hey, Pump. Ready? See them dudes in Minnesota and New England. Whoa. I had to check myself. Holy cow. Hey, look at this guy. This guy is 2-15. Really? Who the fuck said that, ding dong? Hey, Joe Ho. Yeah, I like that name, Ho. That's your new name, Ho. J Ho. My boy J Ho. How you doing? Here he is. Ho. J Ho. Sue's got his 2-15. Come on, J Ho. What you got going there, man? How? Oh, man. Jay Howe. This guy was going to get cut by the fucking Texans. And you're telling me, and all the glazing that's going on with the Philadelphia media about Dotson and the chemistry of Jalen Hurts because they've been working together the entire offseason. Everything is a blowfest between, hey, isn't it great to finally see the growth of Dotson? Yes, it's really good. Jalen's even commenting. Now he sucks. Michi. Donamici. Hey, he sounds like a paisan. I should be rooting for him. Hey, is John Michi an Italian? I sure hope so. I'll be rooting for him. John Michi. Okay? How many targets did wide receiver 3 get last year? 35 between 5 guys. Okay? Frederick Nietzsche is now the 3rd wide receiver on a team that doesn't use the 3rd wide receiver, but they made a deal for a wideout. Whoa, what a need. Woo, baby, they made a need move there, boy. Holy shit. John Amici. I thought that guy played on Trading Places. Didn't he play on Trading Places, Don Amici? Was he Randolph and Mortimer Duke? What are the Dukes? Right? Don Amici, wasn't he? Or am I missing that? Am I missing my Trading Places in my decoder book? Don Amici is now the starting wide receiver at number 3 for the Philadelphia Eagles. They traded Don Amici with the Texans. Oh, my God. It's fucking classic, man. Holy shit. Don Amici. It shows the position doesn't matter in the Eagles, but cornerback 2 does. New England. Oh, for the record, Milton Williams is fucking crushing it with the Patriots right now. They are so thrilled with him. They are thrilled. Talked to Alonzo over the weekend. They are thrilled to death with him. Love him. He's having a huge impact, too, up there. Helping set culture. So a guy that even I did, I thought, well, I think they're probably going to go to more zone. But Milton Williams is having a really good camp for the New England Patriots. They're exceptionally impressed with him and what he's bringing to the by the way, looks like Thomas Booker's going to start with the Raiders. So 2 dudes you traded away, or one guy free agent and the other guy you traded away, are going to be 2 starters in the defensive line. Solid. We've seen the movie Bad News Bears this year. Going to beat the Bad News Eagles. How you doing? Okay? Look at this guy. Of course, they'll glaze him before he plays for real. Well, what's your guy's excuse? Your guy, Keely Ringo's not playing for real and he blows. Help me out there. And you haven't found a safety yet. So it's not for real, but you haven't found anybody. What's happened? So wait a minute. You're taking a shit on a guy who went to a place and is playing well. And you won't take a shit on guys who aren't playing well, and it doesn't matter here. Which is it, dude? Are you going to use that same higher, holier-than-thou mentality of yours on your own guys or no? You have a safety? Who? Who's your safety? They haven't said Makuba starting. They haven't said Sydney starting. Shit, you know Coop and Q's on the field. All right. This guy refuses to use the same standard that he looks at his guys when it comes to other players. Refuses. Ringo sucks. Still has better career than you. See here. Once I saw that dude dancing for the cheerleading team with the Patriots, I almost threw holy water. That's fucking hilarious. That is fucking hilarious. Holy cow. Dear Heavenly Father, please tell me that guy has 2 sets of nuts. Thank you. I'm just asking as a friend. Not really. I think he's an okay player. I don't think he's anybody special. No, I don't. Okay? Seals would buy that guy a Bud Light. Now what I would do is ask your mom to come over and pick her shoes up. They're under my bed. Let's see here. Blanket chip. No. Blanket chip, I'm sure. Hey, I'm sure. He's going to be great this year. Yeah. Can I make a proclamation? What do you think the chances of Cooper DeJean starting at corner in the opener versus the Cowboys are? What do you think? Now, this is one of the only times this guy's had a W in a tank. That's funny. Maybe that was an omen. How he got fucked up by a Bud Light bottle. Oh, Jesus criminy, man. I mean, give me a Rolling Rock. Okay? 80%? You know, today, Yale, I could have swore that I felt that Vic really wants to get that Mac McWilliams on the field. I think he wants to get him out there and slot, because he mentioned it today that he played it at Clemson and that he played it in college. Okay? I think he wants to get him on the field. Let me say this to you. Here's what I would do, the opener against the Cowboys. Corner, and I'm going to go third down. Too high, nickel in the other corner. Q. Coop. Mac McWilliams. Makuba, more reliable in space, like Xander said earlier. And Reed. There's your secondary. Q and Coop at the corners. McWilliams in the slot. Makuba and Reed playing safety. That's what I would do. Now, against the Cowboys, I might keep Coop in that nickel because of CD playing in the slot. And put Keeley out there on that corner and keep Coop close to him so he doesn't get beat deep, and have 2-eye safety coverage for help. Okay, so against CD, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal because CD, their big threat, this is what I would do if I was Dallas. I would take CD Lamb out of the slot and force Dallas to put Cooper at corner and play him more at the Y and Z, because I'm going to threaten the Eagles' corners in that safety position. And wherever Cooper is, I'm going the opposite way. If Cooper's in the nickel, I'm going corner. If Cooper's in the slot, okay, I'm going back after the cornerback position. But if Coop's playing the corner, I'm going after the slot and the safety. That's what I would do. And Pickens is going to be followed by Quinyon Mitchell. So I think you're going to get that. Ibanez. Sills right now 75%. But if Bennett's the outlier. Who plays Pickens? Q. He'll travel with him. They're going to travel Q. Right now, I mean, Pickens can't play in the slot. He's a Y or Z. Now, this is probably true. I don't know how Dallas is going to stop the run game. I just, if I'm the Eagles, man, I'd run the ball 40 times at them. I just turn around and hand it to Saquon and run them off the scoreboard. Dude, I beat them 25-0, 26. You could easily keep that Cowboy team. Now, look, they're going to score points. Dallas is going to score points against that defense. He is. He's going to score a shitload of points against that defense. But it's going to be back end. It's going to be back end points. Dallas over under 7.5 wins. Yeah, hey, David, I said that at the beginning of the year. Dallas to me is a 7-win team, 5-win team, 6-win team. That's right. I don't think the Cowboy linebackers can. Yeah, I think Dak will throw for over 300 yards, but it'll be mop-up shit. It'll be mostly garbage time stats. He'll have 3 touchdowns, probably 2 picks, 330 yards, but it won't matter. Who cares? This is not college football. It doesn't have to look good. You get your defense acclimated to playing. The next couple weeks after that, what you're going to have to worry about with Kansas City and Mahomes finding your weaknesses in the secondary. It's Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer will call the plays in Dallas. 40 times keeps Dallas's offense off. Dallas can't stop your run game. Dallas can stop your passing game. Actually, the Eagles can stop their passing game. Why in the world would you want to put yourself in a position to have 3 and outs and give Dallas chances on reps and possessions? Why would you do that when you run the ball effectively as good as any team in the league? Why would you go away from certainty versus uncertainty in your passing game, especially with AJ being out the entire camp? How's that make even close sense? Makes no fucking sense. Dallas is the same as the Bengals last year. Absolutely not. The Bengals have a superior offense, skill set people. Their O-line blows. But their defense, outside of Trey Hendrickson, very suspect. And they can get run all over. Joe Burrow keeps them in games because Joe Burrow is just that good. I mean, just sensational. Oh, by the way, Ian Eagle will be with us tomorrow. You guys know who Ian Eagle is? Ian Eagle is going to be on the program from CBS Sports. He's the preseason voice of the New York Jets. He will be on and he will talk New York Jets football. Last preseason game is Friday, and Ian Eagle will be on the program, and we will talk with him. CBS, I think he's on the 3rd CBS team for calling football games. The NFL on CBS, I think he's the 3rd guy, play-by-play. So we'll go there and we'll talk with him. Oh, by the way, get this. Douchebag, you're playing the Jets, fuckbag. What a dummy. Bengals are shit organizations. It's amazing that hey, I'll make this point to you. I think they spend more money at Ohio State than they do with the Bengals. So the highest paid roster in the state of Ohio has got to be the Buckeyes. I mean, the Buckeyes want to win at least. They spend money, right? Right? Get this. Here's what's being reported. That Dylan Gabriel is going to probably be cut by the Browns. And what did he go? Dylan Gabriel's going to be cut. And he went 13-18 for 143. And that guy's going to get cut. Versus guys who are fighting for a starting job. Man. Holy cow. Dude, the point is, a dude who's going to be cut torched him. A dude who's going to get cut beat Keely Ringo and Kuba and who else? All them other guys. Good grief. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna make a point before we get Howard Eskin on with us. Let me put this out there to you guys. And let me do the adding, because some of you guys are buffoons. Most people don't really know what they're talking about. There's 22 starters on a football team, right? 22 starters. Right? Okay. 35 guys have to make your football team. Okay? 35 guys, 60% of your roster played. By the way, let's do this before we get Howard on. Let's pay some bills here. My friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America. Folks, I tell you this all the time. With over $30 billion in recovery for clients across the country, like here in Pennsylvania, $30 million, an insurance company came in and wanted to give that family only $650,000. Guess what? Morgan & Morgan went in and got them $30 million. Or down in Florida, a family was initially offered $350,000, came back, Morgan & Morgan got them $12 million. Simple as that. They are number one because why? They win. Simple. Okay, thousands of attorneys from coast to coast. They're the number one injury law firm in all of America. Do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. We'll take a couple seconds break here. Then we'll come back and we're going to talk to our friend Howard Eskin here, right here on the program on the National Football Show.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Hit the like button, guys. We appreciate all you folks here. By the way, if you're not watching the Howard Eskin podcast, you're missing out. One of my favorite broadcasters, and I'll tell you what, man, he has been fantastic to us. He always finds time. We were texting one another over the weekend about the football game. Like I said, your depth was on display this past weekend. And all of a sudden, now I'm a conspiracy guy. So I'm gonna ask Howard this question. Let me get this right. Last year, 35 passes were completed to the number 3 receiver. Okay? A.J. Brown missed the playoff game against the Bucs. Last year he missed 4 games. Now he's missed all of training camp. I didn't know the number 3 wide receiver was a priority on the football team when they don't go to the number 3 wide receiver. So you tell me, there's only one thing here. You're either trading him or he's hurt. Pick one. Pick one. And for a new coordinator, how's that sound? Kevin Patullo, or as Angelo Cataldi calls him, Bobo Patullo. Oh, I see the head shaking already. That means I got to bring him in right now. He is our friend Howard Eskin. Yes, that is indeed what Angelo has called Kevin Patullo. He called him Bobo Patullo.
Bobo Cataldi. He's never even met the man. He's never. Well, whatever. He doesn't mean most of them. But hey, listen, I get along with Angelo now, but he has no idea. Kevin Patullo is a pretty sharp guy. And it really comes down to the players. I mean,
yes,
players play the game, coaches coach the game. Now, there's some guys that are real idiots. Barry Switzer was a stone cold idiot. All right. But he won a Super Bowl because he had Jimmy Johnson's players. It kind of helped. But it's rare if there's a bad coach, he's not going to last long. But the players play the game. Kevin Patullo is a good coach. He's been in the system. He's been with Sirianni. He's good. But it's going to come down to Jalen Hurts. It's going to come down to the offensive line. It's going to come down to Saquon Barkley, and he's not going to get 2,000 yards this year, and the wide receivers. But it's interesting. I would take half of what you just said on AJ Brown, or I would take one side of what you just said. One side is I think he's really hurt. To be out,
that was my point. That was Howard. I was making a point here that that's not really an entity, because I heard this the entire offseason, that the chemistry between Hurts and Dotson, those guys have been working a lot together in Houston. I don't believe the deal. But I believe that there's more to this. Don't you, about AJ being injured?
I think injury is now what's more to it. He's kept out with a hamstring. A hamstring's no joke.
Right.
And so how serious it is, they don't play. I don't think AJ Brown missing practice will be a problem when the regular season starts if he's healthy. But I think they're probably being more cautious. I think there's a lot of teams that are overly cautious. The Eagles are overly cautious. Watching that nonsense on Saturday was a joke. But you got to find out the other guys, the other players who can play or not play, second, third, fourth, 25th string, whatever. They're just throwing everybody in there. But it wasn't good when you get what the Eagles have, 88 yards of offense.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
But Howard, here on Saturday, 60% of your roster was playing. Some of those guys were playing for starting gigs, like the safety, the corner, rotating guys. You got 22 starters on a football team. 57 guys make a team. So out of that group that you saw this past Saturday, like you text me, and I agree with you 1,000%, it looks like the depth level on this football team doesn't look like it was a year ago. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I based on what I saw on Saturday, yes, I do agree with that. Watching camp, all these geniuses, the media geniuses that think they know what they're watching when they watch practice. This guy, a great play and the deflection. It's all nonsense. It's just, you got to play in a game to see what players have or what they don't have. I was disappointed. Now, here's a big thing with the Eagles to help their secondary. And I'll never forget when the Giants beat the Patriots, when the Patriots were undefeated that year, and the Giants won it in the Super Bowl game to stop their undefeated season. The Giants secondary was average.
Yeah.
Their defensive, and that was the MVP.
They were 9-7 that year.
Yeah, it wasn't Sheila Manning. It was the I can't help but calling.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, before any defensive lineman or anybody gets close to, let me go down. But whatever, he wasn't the MVP. Somebody on that defensive line was the MVP.
Justin Tuck.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, Strahan was great. They were really, really good.
Yeah.
But it helps protect the secondary if they're only average. So the Eagles, I will say this, kind of in their defense, if you want to use it as a defense, the Eagles didn't have the pass rush that you need. They got a couple of sacks, but who was it? Cleveland's not playing their first string guys on the line either.
Right.
So they had a couple of sacks, but if you don't get pressure on the quarterback, it doesn't matter who you've got in the secondary. And that interception, they at the broadcast made such a big deal out of it. There's two guys. First of all, two guys aren't supposed to be there. We
Even
both know
Vic
that.
downplayed it today.
Vic
went like this. The media, of course, like
right.
Glazing was going on, and Vic went like this. That was more on them, and the fumble was more on them. And if you watch the kids play, the kid's going through growing pains, and that's what I said too. I go, stop with the glazing here, man. You're going to give these rookies, Howard, you're going to give rookies like Campbell and him a hall pass because they're still learning the game. You know what I mean?
The interception was a gimme. I mean, it was just First of all, one of those receivers has got to make an attempt at the football, and then it's not an interception, then it's not a pick six, and we go through all those things. I mean, it was nice for it's nice for the player, and everything's great. Actually, Vic Fangio said something today, which I'm going to challenge, and it has nothing to do with football. You're going to guess what it is. Nothing to do with football.
What about the Phillies?
Yeah. Yeah, because he's a big Phillies fan, and I know that from I've known Vic. Actually, he was a coach with the Stars. Back in the 80s. So I knew him from
Jim Mora.
Right. Jim Mora Sr. Correct.
Right.
So anyway, so he says, you know what the magic number is? And I don't give a damn. How's that, Vic? I don't. He's a big Phillies fan. 34. 34 is irrelevant. It's not about making the playoffs anymore for the Phillies. It's about getting to the World Series. The playoffs, making the playoffs are irrelevant. And then he tried to defend Rob Thompson, and I like Rob Thompson, but he made a mistake when he brought Duran in the other night with a 4-run lead. I mean, he gets hurt. Okay, that's a freak thing. And then he defended that move. He was wrong in both areas. Terrific defensive coordinator, but Vic, just stay away from the baseball.
Yeah, stay away out of the diamond, man.
Yeah, right.
I mean, stay off the diamond, because I got to tell you, I'm with you, man. I mean, if you're rooting, that's like rooting to go to the Fruit Loop Bowl in college football, going to the playoffs. I thought you were rooting to go to the World Series and win it. You know what I mean? I mean, they got a something game lead now in the National League East, and this guy's rooting for the Fruit Loop Bowl. And I'm going like, come on, man, stay in your lane.
Difference. It's not about winning the division. It's about beating the Dodgers or Milwaukee. Is just
unbelievable.
They're unbelievable. Usually when a team has a long winning streak of 4 games or more, it used to be 3, but 4 games or more, and they lose, they usually lose 1 or 2 in a row. Milwaukee comes right back and wins after their winning streak's broken. They're just mind-boggling. So that's who they got to worry about. And the Dodgers, I think the Dodgers won yesterday. Did they sweep that series?
I think they did.
Yeah, I think
yes, they swept the Padres. I watched that thing, actually.
I thought the Padres might have been better, but they're not.
Boy, they got worked over in that series. And now guess what else too with that? They win the season series. So now if they get into a series with them, they have home field advantage in a 7-game set now. So you know how big that could be, especially with those 2 teams playing the way they are. So they win the season series now by taking that and sweeping those guys out of the broom there, man. I mean, I think their Padres were playing great baseball going into that series, but they took care of them.
Yeah, so but that's who the Phillies have to worry about. That I think they have to worry. It's not good if the Padres don't win the division, because if the Phillies win the division, now I don't know how it's going to play out. They're going to play a wild card team if they win the division,
right?
Somewhere along the way,
correct.
And if the Padres are that wild card team,
that's right.
I think the Padres are better. They're better off if the Padres won the division.
That's right.
Yeah. So
that's what Bob Nightingale said. Bob Nightingale said that if you had to pick if you had to pick somebody in a series, would you take the Dodgers and the Phillies? He goes, I'd take the Phillies. I went Padres or Phillies, and he goes, I'd take the Padres.
Yeah, I'm telling you so it's not good if the Dodgers win that division, assuming the Phillies are going to win the division.
I think they will. I think they'll hold on, depending on what their back end of their bullpen. Let me get.
Yeah, but I don't know if Zach Wheeler's coming back.
15-day, right? Wow, you think he's out for the year? You think he's out for the year? Wow. Holy shit, that's a big time loss. If that
I think out. I'm telling you, knowing about, I am a doctor. I did get a doctorate at Goldie Beacom. It's on this side, like Goldie Beacom College. I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm still a doctor. All right.
Hey,
so
I'm a doctor too, but I'm not certified. But hey, we're all good.
Well, I am. I do have a doctorate. It's back up on the wall back
that's
there.
right. Okay.
Yeah. I got my doctorate at Goldie.
One too from Villanova.
He does.
I don't know. He told me.
No, that's bullshit. But whatever. I'm not a doctor, but just knowing this is no joke. You have to worry that there's not another blood clot that can form in the system. He had surgery to take the blood clot out. So usually I thought you just kind of thin it down, but he's still got to take blood thinners probably for at least 1 to 2 months.
Yeah.
Now, when you're playing, and again, I have no idea, but teams never tell you the truth. So, and they don't want to take away the dream of Phillies fans, but if he's not there, that's not a good thing. But he's got to take blood thinners probably for 30 to 60 days. So, and when you're playing baseball, you can get run into by somebody. A bruise is not just a bruise anymore when you're on blood thinners. It's no joke. So again, I don't have any inside information, but I am a doctor, and I just
I'm going to show you something, Howard.
Okay.
Watch this.
I know I went off track here a little bit.
That's all right. No,
Okay.
no, you never. No. There's no such thing as that. For you, other people, I'll kick their ass. You never. You go anywhere you want. Hang on here. So who am I? I'm going to play charades with you. Who am I going to be this year on the sidelines? I'm going to be AJ Brown. I'm going to join the Jello Book of the Month Club, and I'm going to be reading all these books because did you see the new rankings came out? He's not a top 25 player.
29.
He's 29. I know he's not a top 25 player.
Yeah,
Will that matter to him or not matter to him?
The Eagles on their internet site made a big deal that he's 20. Like, who cares? I don't care if he's 20, 15. I don't even care.
He's hurt. He's hurt.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't played in weeks. So, there's caution, and then is he really hurt?
Well, they made a deal for a wide receiver.
I know. It's just, they worried about that.
And get this, look, that's their second trade in 13 days. And I would have thought it would have been corner, safety, maybe an edge guy. But what's the deal? 35 receptions they got a year ago with 5 people at the third wide receiver spot. Like I said, Hugh, I was trying to make the point. I don't believe he's being dealt either. I do not. However, I think this guy's hurt more. And to me, I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts, Howard, and I'm not worried about Hurts and AJ. Because you made a point earlier. You went like this. You said, well, Kevin Patullo, I'm not worried about. Well, what makes you not worried about him when the Brian Johnson deal didn't work out? Brian Johnson was in the building too.
Brian Johnson was I shouldn't say only. A big reason he was there is because he knew Jalen. What was it, in high school he knew Jalen?
High school.
Okay. So Jalen felt, and they wanted to make Jalen Hurts comfortable. And I think that was pretty much the reason for that. Brian Johnson was a sharp enough guy, but I don't think Jalen Hurts was good enough at that time. They got to blame somebody. You're not going to blame the player. They invested a lot in Jalen Hurts. Second round pick is still a second round pick.
Absolutely.
So they invested a lot in Jalen Hurts, and so you got to blame somebody. So why not blame the offensive coordinator? So
today, Howard, Vic Fangio went to the mic and said that Cooper DeJean is going to start getting some reps at corner. How concerning is that now you got 5 guys battling for that job? No one's reared their head as of August 18th. And, replacing Slay, who do you feel is more difficult and more of a replacement problem? The CJ Gardner guy or the Slay? Do you think if you're looking at one of those 2 players harder to replace, who are you feeling right now was really maybe how he should have revamped and rethought about, getting rid of one of those 2 guys?
Well, I think Cooper DeJean can play anywhere in the secondary. I think he's that good. So I kind of thought at the start of the season that maybe he would have been the corner over anybody else, but I think they wanted to play him in the slot safety position. They want to put him at safety, whatever it is. He's going to be good back there, but then it leaves a hole where he doesn't play. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't even be surprised if Cooper DeJean is one of the starting corners. Wouldn't be amazing. You know who I liked? I liked Isaiah Rodgers. Did they just let him? I forget. Did they just let him? They didn't trade him. They just let him go
for $7 million, and he's now starting in Minnesota. Howard, you bring a spectacular point up. All those players that were instrumental in winning the Super Bowl. Fred Johnson stepping in for Mulata, Burke stepping in for Dean. Every one of those guys are now starting in Cincinnati, Jacksonville, and Minnesota. And you talked about the depth over the weekend. You're right. Isaiah Rodgers was the get this, they don't have a guy on their team right now better than Rodgers.
Probably not. He's got speed. He's got good instincts. He's a really good guy. I guess I was a little surprised, but they have so many people that they brought on the team, whether it's draft or signed, that could play either in the secondary or on special teams. So they look for multiple positions that you can play. And Isaiah Rodgers he didn't get much. I don't think he got much in kickoffs or punt returns, but you're not going to get much. You're not going to get much out of those positions anymore anyway, especially kickoffs, the way they've designed them. They're trying to get more run backs, but you're really not going to get anything.
You're not getting anything.
And if you're a good punter, if you're a team that has half a brain, you don't kick it 60 yards and give the returner space. You kick it 45 and you have great coverage and they get nothing.
That's right.
And that's what you got to do. And more teams are doing that now and understanding that. So your punt returner is not a big deal, but Isaiah Rodgers, I think you're right. He probably could start. He probably would be right now the starter at corner.
Yeah, he'd be the starter on the other side. Howard, do you think this roster is a Super Bowl roster?
Well, you compare it to the other teams, and I would say yes, but that doesn't mean you're getting to the Super Bowl. Are they better than Washington? Yes. You forget about the Cowboys and the Giants and Russell Wilson. What a fraud he is.
How about the Rams?
But the quarterback's got to stay healthy.
Yep,
and I think today was the first day.
That's right.
First day that he took first team reps or whatever. If Stafford stays healthy, they're really good. So the Rams are right there.
The Bucks.
The Bucks are going to be there. I love Baker Mayfield. He's a tough son of a gun. I love Baker Mayfield. And the coach is a really good coach. But again, players got to make plays. Who else? Detroit, they didn't get there last year because they had injuries. Jared Goff has done a nice job at quarterback for them.
But they've lost two voices. They lost offense and defensive coordinator. Now, but like you said, they get all these guys back. I mean, that's the one game. Isn't that the one game that we never got a chance to see a year ago that everyone wanted to see was Lions and Eagles? Now, again, they didn't hold up their end of the deal. The Eagles held up their end.
They got hurt. Yeah, they got
hurt and they got upset in the playoffs. So that's the game this year I think people really want to see is that Lions and Eagles game, because to your point, Howard, the only other team in the last 3 years, would you not agree, the only team that's ever given really the Eagles really a push for their money has to be that Bucs team. They've beaten them 2 out of the last 3. They beat them up pretty significantly 2 of the last 3.
Yep.
So it would be the Buccaneers probably, right? That would be the biggest threat in the NFC to them.
Yeah, and they play them there.
Again.
So if there's a tiebreaker, whoever wins that game, it's important to play there. But they play LA and Detroit in Philadelphia. So they get a break there. So they still have an advantage with that part of the schedule. Now, are they a Super Bowl roster? Yes. Are they a Super Bowl team? Yeah, but I don't know that they're going to get back. It's not that easy to say, okay, they're just going to get back. Are they good enough? Yeah, if they don't have injuries. They've got to have a lot of the players do the same things that they did last year. But it's so hard to get to the Super Bowl. It's really hard to get back. And Jalen Hurts has got to be good as well. And if Saquon Barkley doesn't run as well, and I still think he's going to be excellent, if he doesn't run as well, then Jalen has to throw more passes. The Eagles didn't have many turnovers last year. They were really good in that area. But if Jalen Hurts throws more passes, whenever you put the ball up in the air, you got to worry about turnovers. I'm not saying
he only had 361 attempts, though. I mean, there were 14 quarterbacks that had more completions than he had attempts. I mean, I say this to you, Howard. If he throws the ball like he did in 540 times, he's going to be back up there with 10 or 13 turnovers again. I mean, I look at Jalen Hurts and say this. I think he is a really good football player, but is he one of those other guys? I mean, look, I think he's a complimentary player.
I think he might be a little bit better than that, but the coaches, I know for a fact, they don't want him to throw more than 21 to 23 passes.
Okay.
If Saquon Barkley runs the ball effectively, again, the offensive line helps Saquon get to the second level. Once he gets there, he's good. He's really good anyway. But if he has to throw 30-some passes a game, that opens it up for turnovers. They didn't have a turnover in the playoffs. That's phenomenal. You usually have one.
Yeah. Right.
At least one. But that's a big thing too. They're not going to have, if they don't have turnovers, they're going to win games.
Howard, what are you expecting from Hurts this year? What type of season with all the holes? Or how about this? Let's be fair here because it's only August 18th. With the potential question marks, let's not say holes, question marks on defense. All right. What are you expecting out of him this year? Especially with a new OC, the fourth worst passing game of a year ago. What are you expecting him to be?
The fourth worst passing game. I love the way
they were 29th. Any way around it.
I know they didn't have to because of the running game, and that's going to be important. But again, you can't have injuries on the offensive line. Let's start with that. And if you don't have injuries, Landon Dickerson is not replaceable.
No way.
Okay. Brett Toth. I mean, give me a break.
He gave up that hit on the quarterback that almost got that guy decapitated.
I know he's been with 117 teams. I mean, give me a break. It's just all of a sudden they bring him in there. I think he took every snap on Saturday.
Yeah.
Every offensive snap.
I call him Man-Tooth. That guy was just not very good.
It's unbelievable. But so you got to hope the offensive line stays healthy. Landon Dickerson is not only a terrific player, really, really, really tough. It's almost like every game I see him limping off the field, and then he comes back in the next series. Yep. He's unbelievable. Now, with a meniscus, he's not coming back in. It would be amazing if he plays the first game. Let's stop with this week-to-week nonsense. And I don't know if he'll play the second game. Second game's tough because it's in Kansas City. Yeah. So if he only misses 2 games, but then you got to worry about injuries in that regard. Lane Johnson missed a few games last year too, if I remember correctly.
Yep, he did. He missed the Bucks game.
Yeah. Okay. So, you got to hope that they don't have injuries, and that's going to help. Your question was about Jalen Hurts. If he has to throw the ball more, he will have more turnovers. Without Landon Dickerson, the tush push isn't as good. That tush push is it gives him all those rushing touchdowns. When you look at the stats, it's like, so what? That's not. But I think he's a solid quarterback. He's not top 5 like the people in Philadelphia want to believe. I saw something. I don't know if it was Pro Football Focus, which I don't live and die by Pro Football Focus. But I think they had him at number 9 in the league. I think they had him at number 9.
Number 9.
And I'm okay with that if he's in the top 10. I'm okay with that.
I want you to help me out on something. I asked Angelo, and I want to hear you. Educate me, please.
Well, you didn't get educated by Angelo, so I'll try to help.
Okay, I want you to help me then. When I grew up, my uncle was a Hall of Fame New York Giant. I always thought the Eagles and the Giants, when I grew up, were the rivalry. Philly, New York. I grew up on that with Philly and New York. It was always that. The Cowboys and the Eagles. I mean, how did that hatred? What's the hate? What's the history? Why the hatred for the Cowboys and Philly?
Well, it probably goes back to the Cowboys pronouncing themselves as America's team. They have named themselves America's team. Okay. They're not America's team. I mean, not even close.
The Eagles, America City, right? The brotherly.
I don't know who America's team is anymore, but whatever. I mean, Kansas City probably, but it's Kansas City, so you can't say they're America's team. It's Kansas City,
Oh my
And if
God.
you don't eat beef, you're not going to Kansas City anyway. And I don't eat beef.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a vegetarian, but I don't
Oh,
eat red
God.
meat. All right, so the Giants, when I was a kid, and it goes back to Y.A. Tittle. He didn't like Y.A. Tittle. Y.A. Tittle, for those people who don't remember, he was a quarterback when I was a kid. Y.A. He just liked the name Y.A. Tittle.
Blood on the head, a whole thing on his knees,
right. It's just, and they were nasty people. And the Giants are still a rivalry. Michael Strahan's a terrific human being, but you couldn't stand him as a player because he always had success.
You know what my uncle told me why the rivalry was? Because it was Sam Huff, it was Bednarik, and it was Nitsky, and it was Butkus. Because back in the day, my uncle said this, those teams were not defined by quarterbacks. They were defined by the middle linebackers.
Yep.
And the league was defined by middle linebackers back in the day. If you had one of those guys, you were one of the better football teams in the league. If you look at it, they personified pro football, all those guys in the middle. That's where I got that rivalry from.
Well, but when you looked at the Dallas Cowboys, you saw Tom Landry dressed in his top hat and his nice suit. So not that he wasn't a really good guy and a hell of a coach.
Squeaky voice, my grandpa said, though.
Yeah, you just didn't like Tom Landry. And then Roger Staubach, the choir boy, Roger Staubach, who really is a choir boy.
Yeah.
And a wonderful guy. Yeah, I met him a couple of times.
Yeah,
wonderful
great guy.
I remember I saw him at the Super Bowl after the Eagles won the Super Bowl the next year at Radio Row, which is not the same as it used to be, but whatever. He was on the Dallas station, and I was supposed to be on with those guys. So he was there when I was coming on. And he was so pleasant, and he had questions about the Super Bowl. Most guys, you figure, they're not going to lower themselves to ask somebody. They would probably already know it. We talked for about, I would say, at least 5 to 10 minutes just about the Super Bowl, and he had questions about Nick Foles. But the point is, he was just a regular guy.
Yeah.
He was and that's what he was. His company, this is my,
He's worth $650 million right now.
Yeah, it's a construction company, right? It's a
development. Real estate. Oh, right. Yeah, development.
Yeah. The golf course I belong to in the Philadelphia area called Commonwealth National.
Yeah.
He has a building, which is one of his buildings he built on the golf course, right off the golf course.
Yeah.
Off the 10th hole. But whatever. But he was a great guy, smart guy, did good things, but you didn't like him because he was too nice. So you didn't like the Cowboys. And then it developed into Michael Irvin, who we both know. It was just a wise guy. And, the fact that the Eagles fans cheered when he was laying on the field motionless is disgusting, but that's how much they disliked him. And then when Dion got there, people didn't like the Cowboys because Dion played some time there. It's just, you always found somebody that you didn't like. And Jimmy Johnson, because he was a great coach,
the hair.
And the Eagles had a buffoon as a coach and Rich Kotite. I mean, that was such a mismatch.
Jerome hated when that guy was there, he hated Rich Kotite. He was
an idiot. He was an idiot.
The whole defensive football team, I thought, revolted against him. They just, for whatever reason, man, those guys did not like that guy. I don't know, personality. By the way, he didn't have that awful of a record. He won like a double-digit games his first 2 years there, right? Am I right, when he was the head coach?
I think he was 9-2 to start a season. Then it fell apart.
Yeah.
I think he got fired after that. But it was terrible. And then Jimmy Johnson was at Dallas at that time. So Dallas would always beat the Eagles. It just developed into, I know the Giants are right up the road, and New York fans, they come down here for the Mets. The Yankees now play here every other year, 3 games.
Yeah.
Mets, Yankees. But the Giants fans come down, and there's always fights. There were always fights. But there were fights with the Dallas Cowboy fans because they're all over the country too. Yeah. So, it is what it is. People kill me. because I told him that the Dallas Cowboys, once Jimmy Johnson got there, were going to win more Super Bowls than the Eagles, and it wasn't even close, because the Eagles had Rich Kotite. Now, what am I supposed to do? Watch that dope Rich Kotite or Jimmy Johnson, who obviously I knew from the University of Miami, but he was a great coach. And that was part of it too. So there was always layers. And then Jerry Jones now creates another layer because they're never going to win with him.
No.
And Dak Prescott gets all this pub. And as I told you, they're never going to win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott.
Yeah, man.
Never.
I said this, Dak Prescott, if he's going to win a Super Bowl, Howard, he's got to go somewhere else. I mean, he's got to go somewhere.
Not good
else.
enough. He's not good enough. I hate to break the news.
Make the team around him better. Okay?
Well, that's the other thing. He doesn't. And I don't care if Micah Parsons gets 10 cents for a contract. I could care less because
you think he runs through the gate in the you think he's on that field September 4th, Micah Parsons?
Yes. Yeah, because this is his area. He's from this area. He's from the Philadelphia area. Yeah. So he'll be on the field because he wants to play well for his family and friends and the people in the area. So he'll be on the field, but he's got to stop with this contract stuff. First of all, second of all, third of all, fifth of all, I wouldn't give him $40 million a year.
No
and that's
way.
what he wants. You made a mistake with Dak Prescott. You can't make it with Micah Parsons. You just can't. But there's all kinds of reasons to dislike the guy. Who do you dislike on the Giants now? I don't dislike anybody.
No,
they all stink.
They suck. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nobody. I'll tell you what, this Jackson Dart kid looks like he's going to be somebody, though.
Yeah, they better hope he is. Russell Wilson will start until he's ready.
Well, until they see through him.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, he's a phony too. That's why I don't know that Cleveland. Kevin Stefanski said Cleveland was going to announce their starter before the preseason game.
By the way, that kid Dylan Gabriel today is saying they may not even make the team because they have so many quarterbacks on their team. He may not even. He was 13 to 18 for 140 some odd yards. He won't even
they'll keep him as a third string.
Door.
Yeah. Okay. Well, who's the second string quarterback? Kenny Pickett can't play dead. Kenny Pickett, give me a break.
They like that kid for some.
Well, they like my ass.
What do you make of Washington?
I'll tell you, Daniels is a terrific quarterback. He is I don't know enough about some of the other parts of that team, but the quarterback is terrific. So if it comes, and a lot of times it comes down to the quarterback. I think that's the biggest challenger for the Eagles in the NFC East. Won't be the Giants. It won't be the Cowboys. I think it'll be Washington.
That's right.
The biggest challenger.
Absolutely. Howard, tell folks where they can get your show. I mean, I'm watching it all the time now. You got me hooked now.
Well, all right. So I'm on Wednesday nights at 7:30 Eastern Time live. Then I'm on Saturday mornings because people want to talk to me because they got free time on Saturday mornings. Saturday mornings live at 8 o'clock. And then, of course, it lives on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram. YouTube is probably the easiest place to find it. And if people subscribe to YouTube, they always are notified when the show comes on live. So, and then you're on I'm on Spotify and Apple and Amazon Music, but that's just audio and not just the video and the audio. So it's easy enough to find.
You need to get Jimmy Johnson on.
Well, yeah, I actually went through somebody to try to do it.
No, don't you go through me and I'll
well,
send
if you can do that for me, I'd love to get.
I'll send you a
Jimmy is once he left the Cowboys, I knew they were his.
Howard, you and me don't go through people. Okay. We don't go through people. We are the people. I'm going to send you Coach John.
The guy I went through was Jimmy was part of this guy's business, who I know really well.
Okay, well, I'm going to send you a cell phone so then you can get him on because I'd love to watch that segment with you and him. Howard, I appreciate you so much. I'm going to do it right after the show here. I'm going to send you that number because I want to see you and him go at it.
Oh, I'd love to have Jimmy Johnson on.
Yeah,
He's out there fishing now. He's fishing.
Yeah. He's big fisherman in Isle Morada down in the Keys
You
right
know what?
now.
He used to come down. He had the tournament. He still has the tournament in Atlantic City or Cape
Yeah.
May, not Atlantic City, Cape
Yeah.
May. He didn't come down this year, or down or up or wherever he comes from.
Yeah, because Gene Hackman, his friend, he passed
away. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
didn't
one
come
of the
up. They still had the tournament, but he was not there. But I used to get to see him there too.
Howard, I have to run. We will catch you hopefully very soon again. We can do this again. Thank you, my friend. You got it. The great Howard Eskin. Make sure you guys please check him out. So our friends, and we just love having him on the program. By the way, make sure you check him out. Hit the like button. Stay tuned now for my friends. And make sure you stay tuned for John McMullen and Xander as they do a special edition of Birds 365. 2 to 6 tomorrow. We'll see you on the flip side.